And just on that point, another matchup, I think one of the most interesting aspects of the game is the coaching. Nenad Vicinic, 9 seasons in the league. He's never had a losing year, and he's never had the best talent in the league. That's just great coaching. Going against Kenny Stone, one of the newer coaches. I think this is his 5th year in the league. He's already got 1 championship, and Auckland are 4-0 in the championship round against Nelson over the last 10 years.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting, Bob. And as we talk, the Beastie, Mike Hommick puts away the first 2 for the Stars. And he's matched up. This is an interesting matchup here. As Mika Vicona, the guy that we know has really had a breakout season, opens the scoring for the Giants. But what I was going to say, Mike Hommick is down the other end guarding Jacob Holmes. That's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, Glenn Joe takes it inside. Hommick misses a putback. And Book trying to ignite that fast break. Reminiscent of Bill Russell of the Celtics many years ago. A rebound, a pass to halfway, and 2 points at the other end. Didn't work that time, though.
Tate puts up his first 3-pointer of the night. It doesn't drop. Cassidy's there for the rebound.
Joe inside, gives it back to Casey Frank. Nice little scoop shot down the lane, and he gets the 2. 4-2 ball game. Stars by 2. Holmes, nice move to the hoop, and he's called for the charge. Will they give him the basket?
No, I don't think it went in, Bob, but the thing that was interesting there, Jacob Holmes, very aggressive, going to the basket, and as we see here on the replay, here he goes, ball fake, so straight, the help defense, all, I've got to say, that was a good call by the officials. Casey Frank was sent all the way there.
Yes, he was. Now, Lindsay Tate, called a franchise player. Everybody's looking to Lindsay Tate being sort of the premier guard in years to come. Cassidy inside, round and round she goes. 2 more.
Wow, nice little lefty scoop there from Cassidy. Daniel Barrett, when he left to go to the Titans, I think Cassidy, he's definitely going to see a lot more court time in that swingman position this year for this Auckland Stars team.
Holmes backing in against Glenn Joe. Off the glass is just a little too hard. That's a mismatch. Glenn Joe is going to be marking Jake Holmes. Holmes is going to have a field day, I think, Jeff.
Well, whoever marks Jacob Holmes, you know, he's looking already, as you can see offensively, Bob, he's very aggressive. So whoever marks him, they're going to have problems.
Tate from the 3-point line. That would have been air ball if it had been a little more on the side. Vicona runs. Oh, and from behind, Joe smacks it against the glass.
Well, G.I. Joe, Glenn Joe, he's an action man out there, and I've got to say, he looked pretty clean. Here we go. Underneath Mika, he faked out. Or maybe he got him with the body. I don't know. From that angle, we couldn't see. Maybe the referee saw the body contact, and we didn't see that from the TV angle. But, however, Glenn Joe has the foul now, Bob. But, gee, that's twice now that the Giants have got out on the break. Are we seeing a new style of basketball in New Zealand here? You know, the last couple of weeks, guys have been fast breaking.
It is exciting, and Kenny Stone will have a little bit to say about those 2 fast breaks. The Stars have been punished. 6-3, they still lead by 3. Joe doesn't want to go into a half-court trap, so he waits for a little help. And now the Stars set it up. Frank baseline, Book against him. Little move, oh, a finger roll, doesn't drop.
And who's got the ball? Jacob Holmes leads, and here we go. Adam Stanich.
Book lofts it outside. Spanish had a good look, just couldn't put it down. Vicona saves it. No, he has to throw it out. Good defensive pressure from the Stars, forced the turnover. And they're sitting on a 3-point lead, 6-3.
Vicona there, the man on your screen, averaging 13 rebounds a game. If he was a horse, he'd be a Clydesdale. He's a worker.
I tell you what, too, you know, 13 rebounds a game at 6'6", as we said at the top of the show. He's now guarding Lindsay Tate, who's a point guard. So, you know, that's the versatility of young Mika Vicona.
Glenn Joe just getting called for steps there. Michael Fitchett, point guard, move north. from Otago, where he played last year. Pitch it back in Nelson colours.
His dad Steve is the manager of the Giants, so young Fitchett, he's not going to be strangers here in Nelson. And there's Jacob Holmes, just doesn't get any love, Bob.
No, none at all. Early days, and a double team on the rebound, and Homick is fouled.
That way.
Now, just a little interesting stat on Fitchett this year, shooting 70% from the three-point arc. Pretty hot.
Well, that's hot shooting. A bit more defensive intensity here by the Stars, though, and we haven't seen him get an opportunity to shoot that 70% shooting from three-point lane.
Well, Nelson's been cold, but the Stars haven't been burning it up at all. It's 6-3. Casey Frank, another finger roll. It's knocked out of the basket by Vicona. And that's called interference, and the 2 points are going to count.
Mika should have left that alone. I don't think it was going in.
It had legs on it. Would have jumped out, perhaps. Holmes now against G.I. Joe. Pitch it. Hot man for the three-point line. He continues as he has, and there's 1 and 2.
Well, he drains his first three-pointer. It's always a good confidence boost to hit the first shot.
Tate got inside, had to force the shot up and missed it. And Vicona comes away with the basketball once again. The guy's got magnets for hands. 13.5 rebounds per game this season.
And like I said at the top of the show, Bob, that's phenomenal in anyone's language. 13.5 rebounds. And someone that's 6'6", that's great basketball. But didn't we see Mika Vicona last year? He really did blossom as a basketball player, and he's just extended that after a season with the Breakers.
Well, you're right, Chip. But on that topic, how about 26 rebounds from Ryan Pullman in a game last week for the Rams? 26 boards and 26 points.
Yeah, and it's only taken you half a quarter to get that one in, Bob. I knew the Rams are going to come up somehow this weekend.
Oh, Jeff, come on. Holmes misses the three-pointer, and we got another foul. Vicona is going to be called for a foul. His look says it all, Chris Tupu.
Well, Nenad's up off the bench. Pretty animated. He was right there in front of that call. Mark Jones looks like he's checking in to give Holmes a break. Nenad still disputing the call with Raywin Willits.
Dylan Boucher in the ball game for the Stars, a defensive stopper. Mr. Hustle. No rest for the wicket. Boucher steals from the Giants and gives to the Stars copious amounts. Homick out beyond the three-point line and drops one.
Well, he looked up to the Stars after he shot that one, but Homick, can he shoot the three, Jeff? You coached him at the Breakers for a little bit.
Well, I think that's why he was nodding his head there, too, because like, he was really fortunate. And there's young Mark Jones. That is a good basketball player, a journeyman, but he's going to give you minutes. He's going to give you solid minutes. As you saw, he can shoot that little mid-range jumper.
Well, things can get a bit scrappy here. Kenny Stone off the bench. Interesting matchup, as I said earlier. Kenny Stone, master tactician, going against Vucinic, who's never had a losing season here in Nelson. 9 seasons in the league. Boucher kicks it back out. Joe wants to go inside, has to give it up. Oh, what a pass from Boucher. That is fantastic.
Dylan Boucher. You talk about his steals, but gee, that was a great assist to young Mikey Homick. The beast coming underneath the reverse. That was good basketball by the Stars.
Now Book misses a 7-footer. Lindsay Tate off to the races, protects the ball and gets a nice little drive.
Well, in the open court, we all know what Lindsay Tate's capable of. And, you know, there's probably no need for him to look to pass it. You know, against most players here, we see the little crossover. He takes welcome to the league, Adam Spanish.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. You're exactly right, too. Welcome to the league. You know, Adam Spanish hasn't had a lot to see Lindsay Tate in this league. And Lindsay just took it to the hole strong. Adam Spanish sort of looked at the referees here. Here's me.
4 minutes to play in period number 1, and the Giants have taken the first time out. They're down 15-8.
Look just for the guy slipping. If you're not wide open, look for the big slipping.
Kitty Stone from the Auckland Stars, he's happy with what they're doing down the offensive end, and he's talking about, the big slipping underneath, just like they did there with Mike Hommick, that last basket. Dylan Boucher got the ball in the post. Mike Hommick slipped his man underneath, and it was an easy basket. Down the other end, he just wants more commitment in terms of getting the rebounds. The other thing is, Nenad Vucinic is just not happy. He doesn't think they're aggressive enough on the boards.
Well, between them, these two teams have played in 8 of the last finals, NBL finals. Fantastic record. 7 titles have been shared between these two teams in the last 10 years. And Auckland is 4-0. 4 wins, no losses when they've come up against Nelson.
I don't know if that stat is completely correct, Bob, because there was a team from the Waikato that was in 3 of those. So I'm not quite sure if that stat's right.
Well, 7 from 10 leaves 3, Jeff. You pick up the scraps there, mate. I shouldn't say that, Jeff. You've got a fantastic record in the league. And maybe it's the case that some of these coaches are sort of imitating Titans basketball from a few years back.
Oh, isn't it good to see? I think it's exciting. I think it's great for the league. I think it's great for the crowd and the sponsors and television. Everyone gets involved with this type of game where it's nice and quick. People are up and down and they're really enjoying themselves. And, people have just got to come out and watch the games. It's just great basketball.
It is indeed. And the little guy just sitting to your right there, named of Chris Tupu, would love to play that kind of game these days, wouldn't you, Chris?
Well, we saw last week with Harbour Heat, that up-tempo style game. At the Olympic Games, there was a lot of up-tempo style basketball played, and I think it's just a matter of time before that sort of style will see it filter down through, the younger players in New Zealand, and also it's going to feature in the National League.
Well, it almost has to be. We've got a 24-second shot clock now. That means about 3, maximum 4 passes before you've got to get up the shot. It's actually made for a fast up-tempo game. Jones has to give it up. 12 seconds on the shot clock, and Fitchett misses. Ball's knocked out of bounds by the Stars, and the Giants retain possession.
Well, good hustle there from Michael Fitchett. Securing the ball from out of bounds.
Well, we've finally seen Kareem Johnson from the Auckland Stars get on the court now, which is unusual not to start your in court, but he's come in. There's 7 minutes gone in the game already, Bob.
Well, that's right, Jeff. Spanish just hit a 3-pointer, 2-pointer it was. It's on the line. It's a 4-point spread. 16-12, and Kareem kicks it out to G.I. Joe, misses a 3-pointer, and comes in over the top of Boucher.
Well, that was a strange look that Dylan gave the referee and saying, well, Iowa had great defensive position to get that rebound, and Book comes over the top of me, and I get called.
Well, Ed Book, this off screen there's been called for a moving pick. Illegal screen there. Thackeray laying down the law.
So Dylan Boucher and Ed Book, 1 each.
Well, you can see the not-so-happy look on the face of Coach Nenad Vucinic.
The scowl.
Boucher, the scowl. Oh, it can freeze you in your tracks. Tate gives it up to Casey Frank. Both teams playing tight defense, but there, Tate was allowed to come off a screen, came back door, got a nice 2-pointer underneath.
And that's the second assist, the second beautiful assist by Dylan Boucher. That was magical passing.
The man can pass. Now, Spanish is claiming he was poked in the mush
by Dylan Boucher. And Toops, I know you're going to say it. Welcome to the league by Adam Spanish. He's just come up against one of the best defenders New Zealand has, and Dylan Boucher, and he's turned it over.
Well, he played at USC for the Trojans. Pretty good school. So Spanish, I'm sure he's going to be up to it. Not that time, though, it's Boucher. Slices down the middle there. Easy 2 points. I got to say, early on, the offense from the Stars side looks slick.
A steal. The Stars pick up the ball again. Tate! Ooh, yes.
Oh, and Casey Frank, he was calling for it. Look at him. He's smiling. He was calling for it halfway down the court to Lindsay Tate as point guard. Give it to me. I will finish.
Well, the Giants in trouble. It's a 10-point spread, 22-12, 1.5 minutes left to play in the first period. Spanish turnaround jumper doesn't go down, and Ed Book manages to get the rebound. Big rebound for the Giants. They're not shooting particularly well. Jones got three.
Well, he's been a spark plug off the bench. Last week we saw Jared Kenny come in for the Harbour Heat and really ignite their team. This time tonight we're seeing Mark Jones coming off the bench. Couple of baskets here and there, bit of a defensive play.
What a beautiful kick-out pass from Lindsay Tate. He is so fast on the dribble.
Yeah, that was a great penetration by Lindsay Tate. He gave it all the way out to Glenn Joe. He is wide open for the three. He didn't nail it, but gee, this man, Kareem Johnson, I talked to Kenny Stone before the game. He said, this man on screen here, Kareem Johnson, here we go. This is the three by Glenn Joe. He misses, but look at Kareem Johnson. Great position on the boards there. Just goes up and gets fouled. Kenny Stone was telling me, Bob, at the beginning of the game, he thinks that Kareem Johnson's going to be good value for the Auckland Stars. He works hard on the board. He's starting to know the offensive system that they have, and it's pretty complicated at the Stars. And he's really happy with his progress, and he thinks that as the season goes on, this guy here is going to be a ball player.
Well, I think the jury's still out. He's certainly got some talent. Can he fit into the Stars system in some way? Kenny Stone thinks he can. 23-15. Ben Jeffrey has come north from Christchurch at point guard, and the Giants give it up again.
And there we go, Dylan Perfect Tate, another youngster in this basketball league here in New Zealand. Dylan's only 18, another youngster that's just coming through the basketball system, Bob. It's great to see.
Indeed it is. 40 seconds and counting down here in the first period. 23-15. Giants in trouble off the glass. Ed Book trying to get the rebound. Now Jeremiah Truman, 18 years old, I think, might be just pushing 19, into the lineup for the Giants. Here's a young kid with a real future, I think.
Yeah, he is another 18-year-old. He's at school still. Just finished talking to his coach, Tony Shellcrest from the Saints of years ago. He coached at Nelson Boys High, telling me that Jeremiah's going to have a great season here with the Giants.
14 on the shot clock, 19 on the game clock. Stars are going to have to get up the basketball. They'll be looking for two, and there it is. Saboucha, good feed inside from Kareem Johnson.
Again, we see the slick offense from this Auckland side, out to a 25-15 lead.
Mark Jones misses a three, and weak side rebound goes to Kareem Johnson. Length of the court, toss, doesn't go down at the end of 10 minutes of play. The Stars lead the Giants by 10, 25-15. In spite of the fact that the Giants showing a little class there with a jump shot or two. But Auckland came south, and they look ready to play. They've ripped into a 10-point lead here and controlled things pretty much the entire 10 minutes. Fast break and an alley-oop pass from Casey Frank. So athletic. 25-15.
Just get out and deny if you're guarding the big. Up at the point, get out and deny. Handle him. We're starting three right now. Baker Mitch will start at three. Man, let's go blue. Let's keep working blue. Okay, let's go. Next quarter, let's go. G. 1, 2, 3, G.
Back at the Trafalgar Center, one period of play has elapsed, 10 minutes to come before halftime, and an interesting matchup. Chris Tupu and I have really called the Giants in this game, but Jeff Green's in the driver's seat as the Stars seem to be cruising here. They lead by 10.
Well, yeah, sorry, Jeff. They've been playing really slick offense and solid defense. The Nelson Giants already 9 turnovers in that first quarter. Nenad, I know, will not be happy with that.
Yeah, and I see that the Stars come out in that 3-2 zone that we've been familiar with last year and now this year. Let's see whether the Giants have got to be able to outshoot the zone, otherwise they're going to be in trouble a long time.
And Lindsay Tate causing all sorts of havoc out front. Almost got the steal. The Giants shooting percentage not particularly good, and they're really suffering because of it. But players like Vicona and especially Ed Book have gotten a few offensive boards, and I think that's what's keeping them within Tui.
Yeah, the other thing that's interesting is the Giants have only scored 15 points. It was very low production for a quarter.
Well, Spanish misses another three. He knocked one down earlier. Looked a very nice shot. Technically, nothing wrong with the shot. Just hasn't made it. Tate double-teamed on the baseline.
Guys, still no Jacob Holmes sitting on the bench for the Nelson team.
And Kareem Johnson has that ball pushed right back in his face by the Book.
I really do like, Soups, the way the Stars are. They didn't show us this 2 weeks ago when we had their first TV game. They are really moving the ball here. Look at Dylan Boucher as he goes to the basket, finds an open Kareem Johnson underneath. The passing, as you said, has been very, very slick from the Stars.
Well, Chris, you were talking about Jake Holmes, the reason he's on the bench. He's on 3 fouls already. That's a big, big factor in the game. 24-point-per-game average in 2 games this season and 3 fouls in the first quarter.
Yeah, and you can see Kareem Johnson and Casey Frank really just starting to have their way down low.
Truman backing in against Casey Frank. The young, the old. Mark Jones down the lane has the shot blocked. Tate bringing the ball over halfway, and the Stars want to run it every chance they get. Giants have to transition. They've got to get back on defense. They've got to slow the Stars down.
You know, Bob, I know that the Stars are quick with Lindsay Tate in the lineup, but I haven't seen the other team members run as much, and which is really pleasing. So everyone's now saying, well, we've got to keep up with our point guard. We know he's quick. Dylan Boucher, Kareem Johnson, Casey Frank, they all got down the court. All the 3 bigs got down the court in quick time.
In the corner, Glenn Joe working one-on-one, comes out, gives it to Boucher, a little fake into the lane, knocks it back out. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Perfect Tate, doesn't make it. Offensive board, Stars.
With the lineup that the Stars have out there, they shouldn't be getting easy rebounds like that because Nelson are a lot smaller in their lineup at the moment.
Ben Jeffrey comes up with a ball, and the Giants hustled every step up the court. Underneath, Book kicks it back out. Book probably could have gone to the hoop or 2. Ben Jeffrey finds Vicona, passed up a 4-footer, and as a result, the Giants lose the ball. Wonderful. Young guard G.I. Joe gets it too.
Wow, beautiful athletic play there from Glenn Joe. Waikato last year, back in Auckland colours this year.
Yeah, well, he was a Titan and won a championship, so he knows what he's doing, Glenn Joe.
Well, there's a big puzzle here for Coach Nenad Vucinic. Giants haven't scored in this quarter. There it is. Truman gets a turnaround jumper, 28-17. And they've got to solve this puzzle. The riddle is a pretty tough one to break here. The Stars just have too much speed for the Giants in the opening quarter.
And I think you're right, Bob. I think the Stars are beating the Giants with some speed. All 3 bigs on the Stars team right now, with Dylan Boucher, Casey Frank, and Kareem Johnson, they're all running the court very quickly. That brings into the fact that, you know, Ed Book now has to guard one of those guys up and down the court.
Yes, indeed, Jeff. Now, here's a question for Coach Tupu. Holmes has just come into the game. He's on 3 fouls. There's almost 7 minutes left in the first half. Is this a good move, Chris?
Well, I mean, he's a bit of a professional player, Jacob Holmes. I think it's a bit risky, but we're going to find out. I mean, Nenad's just said, hey, well, look, rather than get too far behind, we'll put him back in there and see what happens.
Well, that's right. They don't have too many cards in the deck. And Vicona gets a charging foul. The basket is waved away. And the Nelson Giants are getting roasted here. The crowd does not like it.
And who pulled the foul? Mr. Defense himself, Dylan Boucher. That man on screen.
Live wire, Dylan Boucher On the replay here, Vicona goes in, boom, knocks Boucher down. Boucher just places himself so well. He drew that foul out of Vicona. Holmick into the corner. Perfect tape over the top. Loses the ball on the dribble. Here's Jake Holmes.
And there he is again. Dylan Boucher broke up that fast break by the Giants. Should have been 2 points. Gee, this game is being played at a frenetic pace, Bob, and I don't know at this pace whether the Giants will stick with the Stars too, because, like, you know, there's too many quick guys with the Stars at the moment.
The bench for the Nelson team is a little thin. With Jacob Holmes in foul trouble, that's put a whole different spin on this match.
While Holmes can play half a game, he can't get too rough defensively. Fitchett comes high and misses the putback attempt by Holmes, and finally Vicona gets it. Vicona, just a pure hustler on the boards. And you see why he's getting 13.5 rebounds a game. That was too easy for Vicona. Perfect tape, misses a shot, and Holmes gets the rebound. So even while he's not playing 100% defense, Holmes is going to give a lot to this team. Vicona goes to the hoop and is stolen once again by Boucher.
Wow, fantastic play by Boucher. Glenn Joe out front. He goes all the way to the rack, gets mugged. He'll shoot a pair of free throws, but Boucher, well, he's just turned it on in this second quarter. Really sparked his Auckland side.
Well, Boucher's amazing, but Glenn Joe did the right thing there. He was 1-on-2. Now, normally you'd want to pull up, but he's got two Nelson players backpedaling. He takes it right at them, draws the foul, and he's on the free throw line shooting two. That's courage. That's smart play from a young
That's smart play, Bob, from Glenn Joe, because, you know, he had the youngster Jeremiah Truman, only an 18-year-old down there, TV game. Glenn Joe's been there, done that, said, well, let me see what you got, young fella. Took it down, and the young fella was found wanting. But getting back to Dylan Boucher, you know, he has created so much havoc out here tonight. It's Dylan Boucher of old, isn't it, Bob? Absolutely marvelous.
Well, he's fun to watch, no doubt about it. 30-19 spread, 5:25 left in the first half, and the Giants struggling here. Try to get a bit of continuity into the game. From the corner, hey, Daniel knocks him down. Comes from a real basketball family. That's Chris Daniel. 30-22, 8-point difference here. The Giants just slowly pegging their way back. Vicona makes the steal. It's a one-on-one race. Holmick doesn't get it, and Vicona gets a 6-point ball game.
Well, this is sort of stuff we're used to here at the Trafalgar Centre. The Nelson team, they're definitely one of the most spirited sides around the league. Wouldn't you say, Jeff?
Yeah, no, you can't count the Giants out at home. But significantly, Bob, I think it's the subs that have just been made. You know, Dylan Boucher, Casey Frank had to go to the bench, and it's what I talked about at the beginning of the game. The bench is going to be key. And right now, the Stars bench hasn't been able to just, you know, tie it down for the Stars right now. And there you go, a turnover again.
Well, fantastic crowd support here for this Nelson side as they get a 24-second violation.
Okay, we'll take a break. It's timeout. 4:28 left in the first half. 30-24 spread. We'll be back in a moment. 30-24, 6-point spread. Hey, guys, the Giants are coming back into this game, and Chris Tupley's starting to smile a little bit.
Yeah, they are. It's starting to take care of the ball a bit better. Shooting the ball a little bit there as well. Three-pointers. There we see 12 turnovers, 9 at the end of the first period, so they're doing a better job of taking care of the rock.
Well, see, I disagree with the Terps. I think the fact that the Stars have brought in bench players, we saw the lead evaporate. Without Dylan Boucher and Casey Frank on the court, that changed the complexity of the game for the Stars. They turned the ball over, and it wasn't so much that Nelson really worked harder. I just think that the Stars threw the lead away. And as I said before, I think that's going to be the key factor.
Well, I'll just mediate this dispute. I think both things happened. The Stars lost a little impetus, and the Giants have upped their intensity. No two ways about it. Fitchett looking for Holmes on the baseline against Joe. Glenn Joe doesn't have the body strength or size to match up. And Bukona with a weak side rebound. Oh, Mika Vukona, Bob. He went around the beast as if the beast wasn't here. And there you go, down the other end, the Stars. Glenn Joe, one point guard to another point guard. Lindsay Tate for an easy basket.
Well, Nelson caught napping, really.
Well, that's
layup.
Michael Fitchett's job there. No transition defense, and Tate was allowed to waltz in and get that easy two. Bukona from the free throw line throws nothing but an air ball, but is saved by Fitchett. Knocked out. Daniel doesn't go down. Weak side rebound of the Beast.
And that's the weakness in Mika Vukona's game. He's got to develop that jump shot to be more of an offensive threat.
Now Tate looking, gives up the ball. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Cassidy misses the shot. Rebound knocked out of bounds, and it's going to go Nelson's way.
Well, I think that was a good drive by Reese Cassidy. He turned the ball over just before the timeout twice. He did a good drive there, missed the layup, but you've got to stay with it because he is a good player, Reese Cassidy.
Oh, indeed. We're just nearing the 3-minute mark here in the first half. Fitchett made his first three-pointers, missed the next two. He's coming into this game shooting 70% from the three-point line. And he just pounded Tate. He said, no way are you going to score two.
Well, again, we don't see any safety from the Nelson side. One pass, and Tate's laying it up. That's not good enough. Nelson's got to do a better job in transition deep.
Yeah, Mike Fitchett, as you said before, Bob, he's got to get back defensively. Don't worry about going to the offensive board. Anytime the shot goes up, he should be between the three-point line and halfway, making sure that there's no fast breaks like that. He's been caught out twice in a row now by the Auckland Stars and Lindsay Tate, and punished for it.
Well, that's right. They say 3 lessons, and it's finally learned, so it might happen one more time, but after that, Fitchett should not ever give up that fast break again. Not this game. Holmes underneath Vukona.
Oh, Mika Vukona, and that was a dunk on the beastie.
Man, that's got to be one of the best dunks we've seen in 3 televised games. Mika Vukona going to town.
Look at his face. He is absolutely focused. Young Mika Vukona, great basket, and Kareem Johnson silences the crowd with an easy one.
Yeah, that was sweet stuff. The beauty over the Beast. 36-28. 2:15 left to play in the first half. Holmes working on the Beast. Partially blocked. Homick got a piece of it. Good defense from the big man. Now he shows his dribbling skills and give it up to, well, Glenn Joe.
Well, the big man had to do something there because he just got posterized by Mika Vukona down the other end. So he came back with a nice block. And there you go, the beastie. He puts back 2. So he gets posterized down one end. He gets a block down the next play, and he finishes off with a basket. That's good basketball.
Indeed it is. 1 minute, 50 seconds left to play in the first half, and the Giants have called timeout. They need to talk things over. They were within 6, but it's back to a 10-point spread, 38-28.
Molten, the official basketball supplier of Basketball New Zealand. Primo.
Here we go. Beauty over the Beast.
Well, here we go right here. Jacob Holmes, he gets the ball down. Oh, and Mike Homick, what was he thinking? That dunk there by Mika Vukona, that was awesome. Led by Jacob Holmes with a nice assist down low. But to be fair to the Beast, Mike Homick, he was in a help position, so he was away from the ball, so he thought he could come across and help. But unfortunately, no, he's all over a poster now.
Well, that's right, Jeff. One of the reasons we call him the Beast is he was voted by other players in the league as one of the most physical players in the league. So I guess the moniker sticks. The Beast.
Let's go defense. 1, 2, 3. Defense right now. Let's go.
Well, that lead now, Bob, it's gone back out to 10. 38-28.
But it's a ball game, Jeff. The Giants have played well in a couple of patches. They've come back at the Stars. They're just giving up a couple of fast breaks. Lindsay Tate is so fast, but one thing the Stars forwards do, as soon as they get a rebound, they outlet the ball so quickly. Vukona gives it up to Fitchett inside. Vukona, nice little pass. Truman throws it away. Another turnover. Sorry, that was Daniel. And Lindsay Tate at the other end pops in another 2.
See, and that's too easy, too. Once again, the Stars catching out the Giants on that fast break.
Well, Tate has now got 11 points. It's a 12-point ball game. Just about 1 minute to play in the first half here. Holmes, turnaround jump shot over Glenn Joe. It doesn't go down, and Fitchett picks up the loose ball. Underneath, shot block. Caslow Evans in the game for Nelson. Shot was blocked out of bounds, I thought, by the Stars, but no, it's given over to the Stars. That hurts the Giants. They slipped 12 points behind. Good crowd here at the Trafalgar Center. Always a good crowd here. They love their basketballs. Jake Holmes with a steal. Brings it over halfway. They want a good high percentage shot now. Fitchett goes left. Back to Holmes. Off the glass. No, he's got it. Knocks it down.
Oh, that's a nice jump shot there by Jacob Holmes. Interesting, though, that we haven't seen Adam Spanish back in the game, Bob. Sitting on the bench there, the American for the Nelson Giants. Nenad Vucinic deciding to go with some of his younger players.
Well, I think also Spanish was just hustled out of the game by Boucher. Boucher just tickled his elbows every time he had the ball. And Spanish couldn't handle it.
Yeah, that was a welcome to this basketball league from the best defensive player in this league, Dylan Boucher. So Spanish will be back. If he went to USC, University of Southern California in Los Angeles, he'd be a bona fide basketball player. He'll be back better for it.
Well, he's just met one of the best tattoo artists in the league, Dylan Boucher. He'll put any design you want on your forearms, your shoulders, your shooting iron.
What an introduction, though, to New Zealand basketball with your first TV game, and you come up against someone like Dylan Boucher.
There you see Reese Cassidy's stats. Playing a good role for the Stars this year. Shoves it back to a 12-point lead. There's 21 seconds to play in the first half. 42-30. The Giants can use up the shot clock now and get one last shot before halftime. And they want a high percentage shot. Holmes looking inside to Book. He's guarded by Homick. Little fadeaway jumper. Doesn't go down. And Glenn Joe is going to get up one layup. He's got the 2, and he's fouled as Fitchett once again gets caught defensively.
I hate to say it, but Michael Fitchett has got to learn to get back on defense. And if you don't get back on defense, don't worry about it. Look, he's right behind Glenn Joe. With all that experience, he goes to the basket. Fitchett fouls him. Let him make the layup. Because he's been burnt 4 times now.
Well, you're absolutely right, Jeff. It's unforgivable in a sense. Glenn Joe on the line. This really hurts the Giants. It could have been a 10-point lead at halftime had they made the basket. They didn't, and now suddenly they're down by 15. 45-30. The long pass fails to find its mark, so at the end of 20 minutes of play, the Giants are in big trouble against the Stars. They're facing an uphill battle here, 45-30.
Mini Giants Day. Referees by the Miss Boys. Playing today.
Here we go, action man. Inside, look at that pass from Dylan Boucher. The man is all class. Homick finishes it off, and there he is again. He's a joy to watch, Jeff.
Yeah, look at Dylan Boucher goes down the lane again, free as a bird. That's a great pass from Kareem Johnson. And look at him, defensively, he's in there. Just got the ball off Mika Vukona going to the hole. Dylan Boucher is everywhere, Bob.
Well, Dylan, on the road, you've got to be happy with that. 15 up at halftime. What was said at the start of this game?
We've got good memories in this building, and we just wanted to come out and play, I guess, like we did in the final last year. And, although we don't want to dwell on last year, we really wanted to come out on a positive note. And I feel that the guys got out and ran, and we got a few buckets together at the end and end up being up 15.
And defensively, you know, you put the pressure on them. They coughed up about 9 turnovers in the first quarter, but some slick offense, Dylan.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I think the guys are slowly starting to get things together. It's taken a while with the breakers and that coming back into the piece. And, you know, I think our guys have done a great job on offense, but I think defense is where it's at. And if we can keep playing some good D, we'll be all right.
And you feeling good out there, mate?
I've got a bit of a cold at the moment, but no, I don't feel too bad. The legs are fairly fresh and ready to go.
Well, you're right in the action there. Best of luck for the second half, Dylan.
Cheers, dudes. Appreciate it.
Was coming to visit me.
And you thought you were up for a quiet Sunday night, eh?
Don't worry about a thing, folks. I used to live here, came out to pick up a few things.
Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones are back in business.
Big, where would you be?
Back in action. Back in black.
Go put it on. What? The last suit you'll ever wear. Again.
Men in Black 2. The Sunday premiere movie, 8:30 TV2.
At the Warehouse, you can dress your family from head to toe at New Zealand's lowest prices. Adults casual concept snow fleece vests are just $9.32. We've track pants or sweatshirts for the whole family. Adults from $8.32 each or kids from $5.82 each. Jeans are at a crazy price. Men's United Blues and women's blue denim jeans are just $14.99 a pair. Dress the whole family at New Zealand's lowest prices, only at the Warehouse.
Get to the Warehouse, where everyone gets a bargain.
They can't be happy about any part of their performance in that first 20 minutes.
Well, no, two people that have to get involved in the game are Adam Spanich and Jacob Holmes. Holmes, second leading scorer in the league, averaging 24. He's just got 2 points, as has Adam Spanich. So, you know, those two right there, they need to start filling it up and getting it going for this Nelson team because they're struggling to score.
Simple as that, you're right.
And one of the things I said at the end of the first quarter, Bob, you can't afford to only score 15 points in a quarter, and then what do the Giants do? They score another 15 points in the second quarter. They're going to struggle if these two imported players, Jacob Holmes and Adam Spanich, aren't given the opportunity to put numbers on the board. Simple as that.
That's right. We call that parsimonious. 30 points in 20 minutes of play. Here we go. The Stars with the ball first up here. And they'll be looking to put even more pressure on the Giants by scoring first. Glenn Joe. Oh, nothing but net. That was a beauty.
Well, again, we see some slickly executed offense there. Joe with a nice open jumper.
Spanich has to give up the ball. Defense from the Stars. Pretty rugged. Holmes goes baseline around. Glenn Joe puts it up on the ring and it drops in.
And this is a slightly smaller lineup for the Stars with Glenn Joe, Lindsay Tate, Reese Cassidy as guards, and only the two forwards and Casey Frank and the beast Mike Homick.
Homick took a nice pass inside from Casey Frank and got the two. Chris, you were going to say something about that move.
Well, I'm just going to say Homick's having a super game. He's doing all the little things for this Auckland side. Seems to be their garbage man, just picking up, you know, little bits here and here and there.
Yeah, and I think he was disappointed with the season last year. The beat, you know, he had an okay season, but there he is on screen. You know, this year he wants to try and get out there. And here we go, Adam Spanich. Oh, the Reese Cassidy just bulldozed Mick of the Kona out of the way and picks up the foul.
Cassidy just wanted to walk through a wall there, and he did it, but he picked up a foul in doing so. The foul this time is going to be against
Reese Cassidy once again. That's 2 fouls in 2 play phases by Reese Cassidy, fouling a shooter like Adam Spanich. Well, lucky it wasn't at the three-point line.
That's right. We've seen basketball games swing wildly from one half to another, and in the first half, Nelson committed 12 fouls, only 4 to the Stars, and right away, Reese Cassidy picks up a couple of fouls early in the second half. Could be a different story in the second half if Spanich, who's on the line now, and Holmes start lighting it up.
Well, this is always a good thing for a player. He hasn't scored much, to get a little bit of a feel for the, you know, shooting a couple of free throws. Missed the second one there, Adam. Got to make those gimmies. Giants still down by 16.
That's easy to say from a guy that shot 92% for his career, too.
And once again, Fitchett loses Tate, who gets a little reverse layup off him, coming from the backdoor position. Fitchett's having a nightmare defensively. Bacona, little fade, pass underneath, another turnover.
And the Stars are off to the races yet again, led by their franchise player, Lindsay Tate, down the lane, easy basket for two.
And the opposite guard, Glenn Joe, was up there ready to slam the lid on that basket. If the ball had popped out, look at that between the two.
Sorry, Bob, that's great defense by the Stars. Anytime someone reverse pivots in the lane like Jacob Holmes just did, the beastie steps up. Someone else steps up at another stage. This is good team defense that the Stars are really playing, which is surprising because like Nelson are known for their, Nene Vucevic and his coaching style are known for their defensive effort, but gee, the Stars are playing good defense here tonight.
Well, the Giants in trouble. He's coming down the beanstalk, and there's a Star down there with a chainsaw. Things are looking pretty risky. 8 minutes to play.
Out of University of Southern California. First year in the league. Makes his second this time.
It's a nice-looking shot, Chris Tupu. Good form, good style, good spin on the ball.
Well, prior to this game, he was shooting 50% from beyond the arc. Adam Spanich.
Wow, Glenn Joe just overdid things. And Holmes goes the length of the court and gets a two.
Yeah, Casey Frank tried to block that on the board. I don't know why the referees blew their whistle. I think they were anticipating the ball not going in with Casey Frank interfering it on the basket there, Toops.
Yeah, Nelson really just out of that defensive play out on a fast break. Haven't had too many fast breaks this game.
53-37. 7.5 minutes to play in the third period. The Giants struggling to get on track here. Inside to Homick. Puts it up and misses a little sitter, and Holmes off to the races. Kicks it out. Fitchett from the corner. Knocks it down.
Well, you've got to like Jacob Holmes' versatility. Having a big impact on the game in this third quarter is Jacob Holmes. Really sparking his Giants team.
Well, it's interesting, Bob, that, Michael Fitchett finished off that fast break opportunity by Jacob Holmes, hitting the three in the corner, nice and easy for him.
And I think the Stars were guilty that time of trying to push the ball up too quickly. There were 3 Giants down there, and Tate couldn't handle a pass, and now Spanich throws a little spinach.
Yeah, Adam Spanich, all of a sudden, he's got a bit of pep in his step.
Timeout taken with 7:10 left to play in the third period. The Stars need to talk things over. It's a 53-42 spread. Stars in the lead.
TV2 Monday. Plastic surgery with a difference.
So if you had the choice, you'd stay together.
Of course. I hate my cancer. It's not your fault, Rose. I'm the one who feels guilty because I'm not strong enough to handle your chemo.
Breaking up is hard to do.
To you, being together looks hard, but it's all we know.
Separation anxiety on Nip Tuck. Monday, 9:30, TV2.
Opportunities are everywhere. New AquaShot Apple.
Looking to rent?
LJHooker.com.
Looking to buy?
LJHooker.com.
Looking to sell?
LJHooker.com.
Look at thousands of properties.
Thank you, Mr. Hooker.
Why pay $99 a week when you can pay just $59 a week? Just $59 a week. 4x4s, sedans, vans, wagons and coupes. 200 vehicles in stock and most for just $59 a week. The We Want You Motor Group, Auckland, Hamilton and Hastings.
Maybelline New York invents a new Dream Matte Mousse Foundation. Touch it. Amazing airsoft feel. pure matte perfection. From a totally new foundation, new Dream Matte Mousse.
Build the Red Baron's fighter plane. Assemble week by week this legendary model made of wood and metal with easy-to-follow step-by-step instructions. Build the Red Baron. Part 1 and model sections introductory price just $3.95. Usual price $12.95. Out now.
The best thing about having hair again is that I'm back to being me. It's like going back 20 years, and it felt great. My family and friends, they were all really impressed, and that was endorsed when I first saw my lady again.
Call Advanced Hair Studio now.
With heavy steps, I walk away from my regrets. I've got a new line, I just need to know where I stand. Do you miss her? And do you find it's hard to keep out of your mind?
Men always think about it. Women like to read about it. Couples, they fantasize about it. Now people everywhere are actually doing something about it. Online at adultmatchmaker.co.nz. But be warned, this is for adults only. It's a safe way for mature people to meet, for fun, a relationship, or maybe more. Find other broad-minded people like yourself tonight. adultmatchmaker.co.nz. It's all in the name.
Welcome back. Timeout here at the Trafalgar Center. 53-42 lead to the Auckland Stars. And time is running out for the Giants, Jeff. I think they've got to get on track pretty quickly if they're going to get back into this ballgame.
Well, the good thing that I saw from that, Bob, was the fact that Adam Spanish was able to take his man off the dribble and sink an easy two. He and Jacob Holmes have to produce the goods for the Giants to get back in this game. On the other end, the Stars, I don't think they're panicking too much. The fact that they haven't got back on the break a couple of times, you know, Kenny Stone, coach there, he's probably just worried that, you know, guys, just understand, get back on the break. Defensively, we're doing a good job. That man on screen, Nenad Vucinic, and the Giants are under the pump, no one else.
Bit of pressure here, full court coming from the Nelson Giants. Problem for Casey Frank.
That's the way to finish defensive pressure. If anyone's going to pressure you like that, that's the way to finish it with a great slam dunk down one end. Casey Frank.
And the Giants looking a little shaky offensively. Book with the ball way up high as a shot blocked. He's screaming for the foul. There's no call. 55-42. Boucher up quickly and he backs out. Good move. Inside it goes. Humming to Glenn Joe. Nakona rakes down the rebound and fits it quickly over halfway.
It's getting physical, Bob. I see both teams trying to impose their physicality on the game right now. And it's good to see the referees aren't calling the little ticky-tack things. They're letting both teams play. And this is good basketball. I'm really enjoying this. And here we go. Jacob Holmes down one end. Takes Casey Frank off the dribble. And Casey sort of just, I don't know what he was trying to do. It wasn't defense.
Well, it was a mismatch, and Holmes exploited it. Fitchett against Tate. Book. Back to Fitchett. Fitchett, long way out, and he misses. Contesting the rebound is Book. Good hustle from the big man.
Mika Makona kept that alive, but Ed Book was there to close it off. Finish the deal.
11-point ball game. Are the Giants coming back? Homing is bumped. That's the fourth foul. Oh, that is a 6-inch nail in the coffin for the Giants as Jake Holmes picks up foul number 4. 1 to go, and he's riding the pine.
That was a crucial foul. And here we see it on the replay. Mike Hommick posts him up, drops the shoulder, and oh, you've got to say for Jacob Holmes' sake, sorry, son. I'm not sure if that was a foul. I wouldn't have called it, Bob. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, okay. He's on record as not having, he wouldn't call that foul. Well, it's a crucial one.
Particularly the way that both teams have been playing in the last few play phases. They have been physical down both ends of the court, and to call that one just, to me, just doesn't seem right in the swing of the game, Bob.
Well, you're right. If you're going to foul somebody, though, Homick is the one to do it. He's shooting 59% in his career from the stripe, and there he is, 1 of 2.
Shaq-like numbers from the free throw line.
Yes.
Homick, though, second leading scorer now for the Stars with 12 points. He's having a good night. Spanish! We knew he could shoot the three. Third quarter, 5 minutes to go. We see his first big bomb.
Long before about the basketball, Spanish had a dream.
Well, let me tell you one thing, Bob. Guarantee Dylan Boucher goes to defend Spanish. If he starts to get hot, Dylan Boucher will be over him like a rash.
Oh, indeed he will. Pass underneath. This time Mark Jones picks up the foul. Homick's back on the line. 1 of 2. He's got 2 to come here. 56-47. The Giants are just scrapping, clawing their way back into this ball game. We've got 5.5 minutes to play in the third period. A barn burner, perhaps, at the Trafalgar Center as Homick lives up to his career statistic here and misses the front ender.
Well, if he's like Shaq, he'll make the second one, and he does.
First one's always a rangefinder.
And there's the defense of the Auckland Stars. Mike Homick out to Casey Frank, and we criticised Michael Fitcher for not getting back defensively. That time against the big and Casey Frank, he was able to do that. He wouldn't have been able to do that if that was Lindsay Tate.
Quite right. He just sneaked up behind Casey Frank, who was drying his hands so he get a good grip on that ball and jam it through, and Fitchett caught him. Fitchett fetched it. 10-point spread, 57-47. And now it's the Stars' turn to try to score. Boucher trying to go inside to Kareem Johnson, who's in the ball game. Didn't contribute a whole lot in the first half. Still trying to find a role in this team, I think, Jeff.
Yeah, Kareem Johnson, he will fit in. I'm confident of that, because Kenny Stone is an astute coach. He knows what he wants, and he believes in Kareem Johnson's play. So, as I said before, the end of the season is where we want to see Kareem Johnson excelling.
Well, at the other end of the court, the Nelson Giants are on the fast break. Here we see Adam Spanish putting it to the floor, getting fouled hard there by Kareem Johnson. He'll go to the line.
What did I tell you, though, boys? Dylan Boucher, the next defensive play, Spanish is going to see Dylan Boucher. And he didn't disappoint.
Hello, Adam. Welcome back, says Boucher. Popeye Spanish on the line. Second shot to come here. 4 minutes, 57 seconds left in the third period. Misses the second of 2. Boucher picks up the loose ball. Mark Jones fell, couldn't get to it.
Zone defense here, coming from the Nelson Giants. Perfect take. Dylan nails a three-pointer, 60-48 now to the Stars.
Well, fortune swings so quickly and so rapidly here. 12-point spread. The Giants looking uphill once again. Spanish going against Boucher. No fouls called out front. Book goes in against Boucher. Fadeaway off the glass and doesn't go down. Vacona desperately trying to get the offensive board. Here's Tate.
Oh, this is great basketball, too. You got to love it. That man on screen, Dylan Boucher, he's in every play you can think of, every time on the court. He really does leave his skin, his heart, everything on the court when he plays, doesn't he?
Well, that's one thing with Dylan. You know what you're getting. You know, coaches, opposition coaches, I don't know how they, scout a guy like Dylan, because he's so unorthodox. You're not sure what he's going to do, but the number one thing is that, he's going to bring energy to the game.
Yeah, I can't believe, Bob, that the Breakers haven't signed this man up. whoever's trying to sign guys up for the Breakers, sign Dylan Boucher up now, because I know the Australian coaches in the Australian League want someone that committed to defence. And if we don't sign him up, he'll go to Australia. We don't want that.
Well, you're right, Jeff. Tell me, was Dylan Boucher hyperactive as a child?
I must ask Dennis and Carol next time we see them, because, gee, he's a nightmare on a basketball court. We know that.
Here's Kenny Stone, coach of the Stars. Top three scores so far. There you see Vacona leading the Giants with 11, with Spanish locked on 11 with him. And for the Stars, Tate and Homick. Homick's a bit of a surprise, but certainly not Tate.
And here we go. And then after the three-point scorers, you've got the 3 assists. The assist category. There's Michael Fitchett. Jacob Holmes with limited court time. He's still got 3 assists. Glenn Joe, 5 assists. That's awesome.
And a rebounding, Holmes with 5, Vacona with 5, Book with 5. Good balance there. And for the Stars, the Beast with 5, Johnson and Frank 4 each. Still, it's a 12-point spread. 4 minutes to play in the third period. Add that to 10 in the fourth period. We've got 14 minutes of game time left. And Boucher, front end of a 2-pointer here. He misses it.
Can we see a few more hands over the basket?
Dylan Boucher, 11 years in the NBL. Free throw shooting in his career, 62%. Misses both of them. But somebody stepped into the lane too soon, and he gets another try. Dylan Boucher averaging 9 points per game over 11 seasons in the NBL. He's a veteran.
And that's a stat that doesn't really tell a true story.
No, I was just going to say it doesn't at all. Dylan just does so many things that you can't really put in a statistical category. Like that. Hands to the ball. You might not get a steal, but it just keeps the offense guessing.
And the defense put up by the Stars is just impenetrable. Nelson, half the time up the court, just can't even get off a good shot. Casey Frank goes to the hoop. It's around and in. Look at the guy leap from the floor. The vertical lift is amazing.
He's like the Easter Bunny, isn't he? He's jumping all over the place, Casey Frank. He's just got incredible vertical.
Vacona trying to protect the ball. Time ticking away here on the shot clock. Oh, Mark Jones get a little hook shot.
But the problem for the Giants, Bob, it's all too hard, isn't it? No baskets are easy. I think they've had one fast break basket, which looked easy. Otherwise, defensively, the Stars are putting them under so much pressure. Everything they score is hard.
And the Stars are able to penetrate the Giants' defense with passes. Perfect Tate from the three-point line. Doesn't go down, and Frank gets an easy rebound. Resets the shot clock. The Stars will chew up some time here. 63-50, 13-point spread. 2.5 minutes to play in period 3. Oh, look at Lindsay Tate. He's so quick off the dribble. Shots blocked. Vacona. Spanish misses. Vacona with a putback. It doesn't go down. And Tate against Ed Book. And misses the shot.
I was going to say that's a mismatch because Lindsay Tate went to the hole very quickly, but Ed Book, as big man he is, was able to alter the shot that Lindsay Tate put up, and then I don't know what happened after that. It's now the Auckland Stars ball.
Well, Book got the rebound. It was knocked out of bounds by a Star. I think the referee just missed that one. She's claiming it went off Book's hand. She was closer. We'll give it to her. Raywin Willix it was from the corner. Casey Frank. He's got it. Oh, what a shot.
Well, Casey Frank's one of those guys that when you need a big shot, all of a sudden there he is out on the three-point line. Everyone's looking at him and he drains it. Big three there for Casey Frank.
Well, we know Casey can shoot the three. It's a shot because of his athleticism. We always think of Casey inside, but he can shoot that outside jumper.
Interesting coaching battle here, too. Now, Nenad Vucinic trying to get his team into the game. You see Kareem Johnson stuck out his hip and fouled Vacona.
Yeah, but I thought that Mika actually hooked him as he went around. You saw his elbow just come around slightly around Kareem Johnson, so maybe the referees didn't see the hook that we saw, Bob.
Possibly not, Chip. 66-50 Vacona, the front end of the two-pointer. He drops it, misses it, that is. Whoever called this a charity strike? There's nothing charitable about a free throw.
None whatsoever. It really does expose the fact that you can't shoot a basketball. But like, you know, my man on my right here, Chris Tupper, a 92 free throw percent shooter for his career. You need to maybe go out there and sell your services.
Yeah, well, I used to love going to the line. Money for jam. Here we see Glenn Joe.
Oh, my goodness me. Boucher with an athletic turnaround, and Glenn Joe got poked in the eye. Purely accidental, but a swinging arm. I think maybe a finger into his eye. He went down. See if we can see it here now. Off the rebound. Watch the ball. Glenn Joe gets it now. The contact is right there.
You say it was accidental, Bob?
I do think it was accidental. I don't think any player
will
in the right mind would want to do that purposely. No one would, Jeff.
Well, Glenn Joe's now bought himself a trip to the bench.
Well, that's good. He's up. He'll be back in, just precautionary. And into the game comes live wire guard Lindsay Tate.
Come on.
Tate might seal the fate. 66-51. Minute and a half to play in the third period.
Well, the good thing is the Giants have scored more than 15 points in the quarter so far. So that's the positive thing for the Giants. But they're still 14 down.
Mika Vacona there, making his second. He's got 7 rebounds to go along.
All right, the Giants want to finish strongly here in the third period. They're 13 down. If they can put a defensive stop on the Stars now. Almost did it there with a steal, but it goes back to Lindsay Tate. Tate just floats off that dribble. So smooth. Vacona, runaway. Boucher reaches in and hacks him from behind. That could be an unsportsmanlike foul because I don't think so. I think that was a good foul by Dillon, an intelligent foul, because you don't want the Giants to go on that little mini run that they had earlier on. And here we go. Lindsay Tate just very careless with the basketball. Didn't even look like getting to Casey Frank and Dillon, making sure that, you know, Mika, 1, has to earn it from the line, and 2, it wasn't a momentum change for the Giants.
So I was going to say 8 rebounds now to go along with 15 points for the workhorse, Clydesdale. Vacona nails another one there.
Well, he's leading the Giants in scoring, isn't he? 16 points at the moment.
Oh, he's a purebred stallion. Not a Clydesdale, Chris. 66-55, 11 points. 1 minute to play in the third period. The Giants will want another defensive stop here. Ball goes out of bounds. Stars will inbound it. Plenty of time here, 2 or 3 possessions left in this third period. Crucial point in the game for the Giants. Tate inside to Homick, backs in and muscles his way to the hoop. He gets a 2.
Mike Homick, another easy basket. And that's the difference between the two teams, Bob. One team down one end is getting easy points. The other one is working very hard for it.
You're right, Jeff. Defensive pressure always on the Giants, and then Spinach. Let's go with one way outside. That's Spinach.
Yeah, and he had a bit of a chat with Dillon on the way back after that basket too. So let's see if Dillon responds with a bit more pressure.
Well, USC, you'd expect a little bit of trash talk maybe from there.
Oh, Frank has his shot blocked by young Truman. Jeremiah Truman got up and smacked it to the ground. Casey Frank hits Vacona. You can't see it off the screen. Vacona went down, and Casey Frank went back to pick him up.
Well, there's bodies everywhere on the floor there, Bob, at the expiration of third quarter, but gee, that was a heck of a
flurry of action. No foul, no shot. So at the end of 3 periods of play, there we are. The Auckland Stars still by 10, 68 over the Nelson Giants, 58. Ball game, and we've got a score in for you. The Rams have tipped the Hawks, 89-84. Hey, the Rams are looking good, Jeffrey.
What are the Hawks doing to us, Bob? They are just tearing New Zealand basketball apart. They were everyone's #1 pick for the preseason. and they've just dropped a couple of games. Hey, good on the Rams. Was that up in Hawke's Bay?
It was indeed, yeah.
Oh, well, another crucial road win for the Rams. Crucial road win.
Spanish looking at his hand. He sprained a finger there off that pass. Another foul called. Fouls are sort of evening up in the game now. The Stars have kind of accumulated a few. 9 minutes and 20 seconds left in the ball game. 10-point spread. Crucial time of the game for both teams right here, right now, down the stretch. And Book puts it up. It's a goaltending call. They said the ball was on its downward flight.
Yeah. And Ed Book's just cut the lead to within single digits, down to just 8 points now, 60-68. Auckland now looking over their shoulder.
Oh, come on, boys. I don't know if they're looking over their shoulder.
The Stars hear footsteps. The Giant is coming down the hallway. It's a big psychological barrier getting beneath that 10-point spread, Chris.
Well, it is.
Particularly the start of the fourth quarter, Bob. So, you know, the Giants will be happy with the start right now.
Lindsay Tate misses a three-pointer, and the rebound goes to the big Giant. Ben Jeffries. Nice move off the dribble, down the paint.
That was a good move by Ben Jeffries, ex-Canterbury Ram. Come up here to get a bit more court time and certainly showed why he's done that.
Yeah, he should thrive in the atmosphere up here. And a coach like Vicinage, Voucher. Oh, my goodness me. Truman gets the block. Homick from way outside. He's got it, and he's knocked to the deck.
And that is a young man like Jeremiah Truman. Just felt like he got one block, and then he went after another block. Just got a bit excited. Just showed his youth there, shooting. And all of a sudden, Mike Homick just nailed that basket. That was nice and easy, Dad. And here we see it here, too. Boucher goes to the hole, kicks it out. There you go, Jeremiah Truman. That was his first block on Glenn Joe. Casey Frank throws it out. There, Jeremiah just getting a little bit excited. Hammers poor old beastie. He goes to the foul line to try and get a three-point play.
You got to like that hustle, though. There's a real knack to blocking shots, and Jeremiah Truman, he blocked a big shot of Casey Franks in that third period, so maybe he's got a knack of blocking shots. Ricky Struthers, I know for years, he was one of the best shot blockers, and he had a real knack to it. The trick was to go and meet the ball, not go and meet the player, where a lot of players get caught up.
Yeah, and Jeremiah Truman, part of the New Zealand secondary school team that took on Australia last year and plays here at Nelson Boys College. Yeah, what a talent. Still at school ball.
I know. I'm very impressed. And he's got a bit of size. And he's playing well above his maturity-wise, well above his age. So Shaquille Homick on the line.
Oh, and he doesn't disappoint. The beastie, man. Mike Homick has really just come in 18 points. He must be getting a career higher out of this.
I think you're right. It was a good three-point play. Jeffries' layup is blocked. Boucher gets the rebound, doesn't he often? And Lindsay Tate just floats to the baseline.
Well, he just made Adam Spanish look ordinary on defense there. Tate just all day down there.
Oh, Adam Spanish, that was nice and deep. Way up.
And against the Stars, a 2-on-1 fast break, and Spanish says no way, and he knocks Glenn Joe to the ground. Well, the Giants, suddenly a quick couple of turnovers, couple of missed shots, and they're down by 11.
And here we go. Nice 2-on-1 fast break. Exactly the way you finish a 2-on-1 fast break, too, with Glenn Joe going to the hole nice and strong. Spanish had no option other than to foul.
Well, it's something the Nelson team will have to keep an eye on, is their transition defense. Tonight we've seen time after time the Auckland team, one or two passes and they've had a layup. Just not good enough, really.
No, and that's just mental alertness. As Glenn Joe, who is a very good free throw shooter, knocks it down. He's shooting 67% in his career from the free throw line, averaging 8 points per game, and this is his fourth year in the league. So it's 75-62, 7 minutes, 40 seconds to play. move from Bukona. Just ghosts his way to the hoop and gets the 2.
Well, I've got to say, most of the players that we've seen this year that have been playing with the Breakers have really looked like they're in good shape. Hayden Allen last week, Mika Bukona this week, Lindsay Tate.
Well, it's a big game. You come south and you take on Nelson at the Trafalgar Center. If you come away with a win, you got to count yourself as having played a good game. Casey Frank throws air. Nothing but air. Ball goes out of bounds, and that's a little bit of an embarrassment.
Yeah, ill-advised shot that Casey shouldn't have taken. You know, Reese Cassidy did all the hard work on the offensive glass. Casey, you know, bit of a wry smile there. He knows he shouldn't have shot that.
Jeffrey out front, the point guard position now is taken over from Fitchett. Holmes back in the ball game off the glass, immediately makes an impact.
Nice, simple post-up move from Jacob Holmes down low.
Now Holmes has been on cruising to Cowrie most of the game. He's been in foul trouble since quarter number 1. He's back in the game to see if he can last the last 7 minutes of the game, 6.5 minutes. And Lindsay Tate, oh my goodness, he loses the ball on the dribble.
Well, you don't see that very often.
No, he was voted by the players around the league as the best dribbler in the league. But that time, the ball just got away from him.
And here we see it down here. Just dribbled it off his foot. He was looking for the pass. And you won't see that very often, particularly in the crunch.
Holmes, guarded by Cassidy. Cassidy trying to play a very physical type of defense tonight. Pretty successful, but Holmes backs in, protecting the ball. Spins, fadeaway jump shot. And Kareem Johnson with a big board.
Yeah, no, Kareem Johnson just doing his job, getting some rebounds, taking up space down the other end. Nice passing. Good job, Kareem Johnson.
Tate between the legs. You know he's going to explode and go one direction or another. Behind the back dribble, and Jeffrey sticking with him. Jeffrey trying to ignite a fast break here. Gives it up. Spanish. Bukona, 3-point. Miss.
And there you go again. Kareem Johnson clears the boards. I thought Spanish was going to get the ball on that offensive set.
Well, they missed Ed Book. He was wide open in the block there for a second.
Jacob Holmes gets the rebound off the missed Cassidy throw. 75-66.
Both teams gone a little cold shooting-wise, Bob.
Oh, Bukona misses a sitter but gets his own rebound. That man is a workhorse.
He is indeed. Mika Bukona leading all scores now with 20 in the ball game.
And he's fit. He's right in Cassidy's face. Almost forces. He forces a turnover. Now Cassidy goes over to talk to the referee, and she just walks away from him.
Well, Mika Bukona, you know, he scored 20 points, 10 rebounds. He's got a double-double for the night, getting close to that average of 13.5 rebounds a game.
Nenad deciding to stick with Ben Jeffrey, running the point.
Holmes throws it on the glass, and Casey Frank.
4-on-1 fast break. Look at this, Bob. 4-on-1. 4-on-1 fast break. There was no one back other than poor old Ben Jeffries. He had 4 white shirts coming at him. What's a man to do? Here we see it on the replay. Look at it. 1. Lindsay Tate, Reese Cassidy, the big man, Kareem Johnson, and Glenn Joe. Ben Jeffries had no choice.
4:26 left to play in the ballgame. 77-68. It's the Stars over the Giants. Shooting for the Stars. Pretty good. Very good, in fact, at 54%. Not so hot from the three-point line, but 16 turnovers, and that's really climbed up in the second half, where they have been under a bit of pressure, but still they're maintaining their lead.
Here we see the Stars. They're not shooting that well, 40% from the two-point line. And then 20 turnovers. That's a real killer for the Giants. And great shooting from the free throw line, but you know, it's those 20 turnovers that has really killed the Giants.
Oh, you're dead right. But still, we've got 4:26 to play. 9 points separating these teams. We've seen so often things could change here. Look at the three-point scores there for the Giants. Bacona, 20 points for Mike Homick. Probably a career best, as Jeff Green was saying, with 18. Boucher misses that easy sitter. Dare I say it, that might be critical down the stretch here.
Well, the Giants are within that magical 10-point buffer that you need to be going into the last 3 minutes of any ball game.
Kareem Johnson got a hand on that shot, blocked the three-point attempt from Jeffrey, and Tate goes in. They bring it back out. There's 15 seconds on the shot clock. There's 3:57 in the game. Tate ready to make his move. He gives up the ball, and Glenn Joe finds Kareem Johnson, gives it to Boucher. Oh, and Boucher misses the second.
Oh, Dylan Boucher missing two easy baskets. And gee, he'll make it up down the other end, Bob, I'm sure.
He'll certainly want to try. The Giants now have got to score. Time is ticking away here. They need a couple of good shots. Jeffrey into the lane, loses the ball on the dribble, and Casey Frank comes away with it.
Oh, that's twice now Ben Jeffrey's gone down the lane and has lost control of the basketball. Absolutely critical errors, Toops, for both teams.
Well, Michael Fitchett's been moved to the substitution bench. He will definitely come in for Ben Jeffrey, who's played okay up until those last two plays.
We've played a minute and a half without any team scoring, and finally Boucher redeems himself with a nice fadeaway jumper on the baseline.
And more importantly, extends that lead with under 3 minutes to go to 11 points, Bob.
It's looking pretty safe. 2:47 and counting down. Spanish, he's got it!
Well, it's just as you say it was going to be safe. Spanish, that man on screen, puts a three-pointer away and brings the Giants back to within 8.
Here we go.
The Stars, very deliberate now. Kareem Johnson goes inside, and the big man shows a bit of class.
Wow, Kareem Johnson, he's just been quietly doing his little bit for the Auckland Stars, isn't he, you know? Picking up a rebound here, a block here, and, well, he's a good role player.
Like I said earlier on in the show, boys, I really did like what Kareem Johnson's doing, and here he is. He's got the ball out. Ball fakes Jacob Holmes. Bad defense by Holmes. Lets him get to the middle of the court. Puts pressure on the big man Book and finishes with a nice finger roll. Good play by Kareem Johnson.
Reminded me of Daryl Johnson sort of moved that one. A little bunny hop in the middle.
Well, 2 minutes, 26 seconds. Strategies there. What do you say, Jeff Green? Well, the Nenad's get back at him.
Yeah, Nenad Vucinic, you know, he wants that penetration and kick for the open three-point shot by Spanish. So let's see whether they execute that. Here we go.
And Book shoots a three. He's normally a very good shooter from out that range. Holmes gets the rebound. Bacona, they're looking inside. They want Spanish or Holmes to have the ball. Here comes Spanish into the corner. Fitchett misses, and big Casey Frank. Here's a runaway two. Fitchett gets up, catches Glenn Joe, commits a foul, and it's 2 free throws to come.
Well, there you go once again. The Giants, they were trying to do what Nenad Vucinic said, try and penetrate, kick it out. But here we go. Glenn Joe on the fast break. He had the big man Kareem Johnson with him. Decided to go himself. Once again, I hate to say it, but Michael Fitchett has been caught out again on the fast break. But to be fair to him, too, that time he shot the three from the corner. So he was the only guy that got back, so that's the positive.
I think this Nelson team, when they have a look at the tapes, there'll be, 10 baskets, really, that were just from not hustling to get back on defense.
Oh, you're spot on with that one, Chris. Couldn't agree more. 11-point lead now, and Joe shoves it to, well, it'll stay 11, but the Stars come away with the rebound, and I think it's Curtin's Giants. Well, 2-0 coming into this game. Their first loss is going to be tonight. Tate just using up some time. There's 6 seconds on the shot clock. He floats to the basket and gets a nice little two-pointer. 84-71. It's all Stars.
It's all Stars, Bob. And the good thing is, Bob, normal transmission has been resumed in terms of picking who's going to win. I'm happy now.
I can see it in your face. Your whole demeanor has changed. You got a bounce in your step. Little sparkle in your voice, Jeff. You're back, mate. You are back.
Yeah, the crystal ball just needed shining up a little. Oh! Casey Frank. He tried to get one back on Mika Vakona after the Mika Vakona's. Oh, and there's a very basic mistake by Jacob Holmes and the Giants. They don't need that with 1 minute 9 seconds to go.
It doesn't matter. It was a bad pass.
Here we go.
Look at this.
Casey Frank turns around. Oh, tried to go for the reverse slam. Just got caught by Mika Vakona. Gee, that would have been great to finish the game with.
So exciting when he jumps. Casey Frank, such altitude off that vertical lift. He's going to put up the three. He's feeling it. Hard off the glass, and Glenn Joe comes and gets the rebound. It's all over. It's good night, Giants.
It certainly is. And hasn't it been a primo game in the Primo Basketball League?
El Primo. Casey Frank looking for Kareem Johnson. Spanish pulls up and knocks down a three. Too little, too late, but man, that's a sweet shot when it's on.
It's a sweet shot, but gee, he's come up against an Auckland Stars team led by Dylan Boucher defensively. And the rest of the Stars, don't take it away from the rest of the Stars. They've played great defense as well. They've blocked shots, they've hustled, and Spanish, he's really had to work hard for those points that he's got. He's got 20 points, Bob, but every one of those 20 he's had to work real hard for.
Well, that's right, Chip. Once again, I think Kenny Stone has come up with the best game plan here. Now, to give him his due, Nenad Vucinic has been out of the country for a week, hasn't been able to work with his team, and I think Kenny Stone just had time to put together a game plan that's just hustled the Giants right off their home court.
Yeah, and that man, Lindsay Tate, he's the general of this team, but don't take it away from Glenn Joe, the other guard on this team. And when they get Aaron Olsen back, they'll have a 3-guard rotation, the Auckland Stars. That's going to be very, very hard to stop in anyone's terms.
Well, we're talking like it's season's end. After this game, both of these teams will be sporting 2-win, 1-loss records. So it's just another interesting facet of the league this year. It's very, very tight, very tough. And we saw the Rams, I got to get this in once again, beat the Hawks earlier tonight in Napier.
What are the Hawks doing to me? Does that organization not like me or something? I've tried to pick them to win. I'm trying to pump them up from their disappointing semi-final loss last year.
Trying to put a little mystery and intrigue into your life, mate. Boucher, baseline, reverse layup, too easy, 88-74.
Sweet move by Dylan Boucher. That's why the Stars are going to win this easily.
There it is. Nelson go down. They've run into a mixmaster here in the form of the Auckland Stars, and they come away 14-point losers on their home court. Their record slips to 2-1, and the Stars see their record go to 2 wins and 1 loss. They're locked.
And here we go. This is too easy. Here we go. Lindsay Tate, he's looking at the shot clock. He knows what's happening, gives it to Dylan Boucher. Dylan goes under the basket. That is too easy. And defensively, the Giants.
For basketball for the Auckland Stars, Waitakere. Tonight, they take on the Jets.
They've got a couple of really good inside players in David Cooper and Miles Pierce. So I know Coop's one of the best players in the league defensively. He was MVP of the league a couple years ago. And then Stacey Lambert has been playing great for him. He's really scoring well this year, really shooting the ball well. Don't know a lot about their import, but it's going to be a tough contest for us.
Yeah, it is a big game tonight. We want to test how we're going during the season, and we got the top team, so it is a big test.
Tonight we're coming to you from the Trust Stadium here in Waitakere. This is home to the reigning champions, the Auckland Stars Waitakere. Kia ora and welcome along to the home of hoops right here on TV2. I'm Chris Tupu, and tonight, for the first time, we get to see the Palmerston North Jets in action. They're taking on a full-strength Auckland side. So heading into tonight's game, here's a look at the table. The Auckland Stars had a really close win by 1 point. They beat the Heat on Wednesday night and now are just 2 points off the leaders, Canterbury. The Jets are at 2-2 for the season, but play a doubleheader this weekend. They face the Stars tonight and the Heat tomorrow. Head-to-head in 2004, it was a split decision, one each way, one for the Jets and then one for the Stars. Well, Jeff, we've got another new coach. This time he's an ex-player, Darren Larson, at the helm of this Palmerston North Jets side. How's he doing so far this year?
Well, Toops, it's really hard for a player to come in and take over the coaching reins, as Darren has done. You know, he's played with a lot of these guys, pretty difficult situation, but from around the traps, I'm hearing that he's doing okay.
And the guards for the Palmerston North Jets have got a bit of experience. Maury, Lambert shooting the ball extremely well. How about their big guys?
Well, that's where the weakness is for this Palmerston team. Because of the fact that, you know, they only have David Cooper as a big man. Then they've got Miles Pearce, you know, who's very inconsistent. And then they go down to their next biggest man, who's about 6'4", and Callum Brooks. So that's pretty difficult.
So you with me on this one? We're gonna go in for Auckland, are we?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We've got to stick with the Stars. They're the pre-season favourites. So, yeah, we'll stick with them tonight.
I think they'll be pretty tough at home. Right, it's time now to go upstairs to Bob with the full lineups for tonight's match.
For the home team, the Auckland Stars, Coach Kenny Stone has two marquee players in Casey Frank and high-scoring Lindsay Tate. And for the Jets, a team of veterans, a new coach, and they too have recruited well. Keep your eye on big Aussie David Cooper and American point guard Mike Coleman. And on the bench for the Stars, Dylan Boucher has amassed 1,000 rebounds in his career. Aaron Olsen is back, and Kareem Johnson, the American, rounds them out. And for the Jets, Miles Pearce and sweet shooting Kane Hokianga will get plenty of action. Well, the referees for tonight, Alan Gooden on the left, Peter Harrison in the middle, and young Tim Brown on the right. A good lineup there, Jeff Green and Chris Tupou.
Yeah, it certainly is a good referees lineup.
Yeah, Alan Godden.
Well, we got experience there. We've got youth. And a good shot of the magnificent Trust Stadium in Waitakere. The Manawatu Jets looking for their first win against the Stars this year. As Chris said earlier, they've split in 2004, each team winning one game. And I think, having stirred my tea leaves and looked very carefully at all the factors, Jeff Green, that I think this is going to be a much, much closer game than either one of you guys give it credit for.
I think you're right, Bob. It will be a close game. However, you know, the Jets are so underpowered. And if they're that underpowered, you know, it's going to be very difficult.
Well, we talk about power. I think with David Cooper in the center, he's a big shot blocker. Daryl June, a 14-season veteran, has got some pretty good stats shooting and rebounding-wise. And there's the key right there, number 8, Mike Coleman, the guard, Chris Tupou.
Well, he is. He's a real fiery character, this Mike Coleman. Kent Maury, how about that, number 21 for the Manawatu Jets. This is his 308th game, more games than any other Kiwi. I've played with and against Kent for a number of years, and he's still looking in pretty good shape out there.
Yeah, he is looking in good shape, and as you know, Kent has been around a long time too, but gee, when he's on, Bob, that man can shoot the basketball.
And I'll tell you, Jeff, the bad sign for the Stars is there's a shine on top of Kent Maury's head. That means he's warmed up and ready to shoot. Coleman puts up the first one, and Daryl June gets the first rebound. Stars had a good win, but a little bit of a shaky one against the Heat. 1 point on Wednesday night. But they're really settling into a team. Kenny Stone has them playing very, very well as a unit, I think.
Well, Stacey Lambert there drains his first three-pointer. He leads the league at the moment, 47% from beyond the arc for Stacey Lambert, and he's off to a good start tonight for Manawatu.
That is a great shooting percentage from beyond the arc.
Now Helmick makes a move inside. The ball just pops in, then drops out again, and Coleman one-on-one against Green inside. Oh, nice pass inside, and Daryl June gets the 2. 5-0.
Well, you know, the Jets have come out smoking, as you predicted, Bob, that maybe the Stars weren't going to have it as easy as they thought.
No, the NBL this year is far too close. You can't predict any blowouts. Still too early in the season. Every team knows that they're in every game. Such is the talent around the league. It's great to see it. Glenn Joe goes around Lambert.
Referee's just letting them play. A few bumps and that, not called.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Yeah, I think that's good too. You know, keeps the game flowing.
Oh, Reece Cassidy. I don't know what he threw up there, but he was hoping for something and it went in.
Well, he threw a little bit of a prayer, went off the glass and drops in. It's a 5-2 ball game. Inside, the pass is stolen. And it's gotten right back by Manawatu. Casey Frank, who's really stepped up and is really putting the figures on the board, rebounding and scoring-wise for the Stars, made a steal, but then gave the ball away straight back. Morey will inbound the ball for the Jets. 2-2 on the season, 4-2 for the Stars. Ah, another block by Casey Frank, and Manawatu come up with it again. Cooper, little fake, puts up the left-hander. He's got the 2.
Well, he's a solid player, David Cooper. Plays in Adelaide, I believe. The 36ers in the Australian NBL. He's really their leader in the paint there.
He certainly is, and there's Glenn Joe going to the basket. Getting an easy 2.
It was a nice move by Joe, and from the baseline, Mike Coleman lights it up. Coleman scoring at about 17 per game, 1.95 meters tall. Is a good match for Lindsay Tate, but he's looking after Reece Cassidy, number 6. Good. Both teams playing man-to-man early on here. Ball goes inside. A nice pass from Casey Frank, and Holmick had his shot blocked by Cooper.
David Cooper is one of the best shot blockers in this league.
Push.
He really does go after the basketball defensively, Bob. And we see here on the replay, in down low, Casey Frank, a nice pass down to the beastie down low, but David Cooper, he recovered because he was guarding Casey Frank. I think that's the matchup with the beastie Mike Hommick there against Daryl June. Daryl June hasn't got the weight, etc., to be able to go against the beast, but I think that's something that Auckland can exploit.
I think you're right. Let's call Cooper covers. He slams a cover on the basket at both ends. Manawatu come over halfway, and Morey is forced into a turnover by Reece Cassidy. Jets quickly out in front here, 9-4, 5-point spread early on in the ball game, 7:14 to play in the first period.
Referee just out of picture here, Alan Godden. He's been hit by the Jimmy Jib camera. He's got a bit of an injury. He's gone for some medical treatment on the sidelines. Alan Godden.
Well, Alan Godden sends himself to the blood bin.
He's looking around for some St. John's ambulance people, and he really is struggling now, Alan. Maybe he's cut himself and he needs a Band-Aid.
Now this will be interesting. Godden goes off to get medical attention. Will they continue the game with 2 referees, or will they not? No, it looks like somebody had that Band-Aid. Godden's going to get repaired. He'll be back on the court, and we'll continue with 3 referees.
Jesus. Seems like he put a finger on it. Yeah. Freaks me out sometimes, but never hit it.
Oh, he's wondering if some extraterrestrial has landed here in Waitakere. It was just the camera on the boom. Tate, guarded by Lambert. Good matchup there. Glenn Joe going against Morey, gives the ball up to Casey Frank against David Cooper. Here's your matchup, Chip. And Cooper gets his hand to the ball and frustrates Casey Frank once more.
Well, Daryl June did a good job also coming over to help out David. Daryl June, he's a bit of a journeyman. Played all over the place. Daryl June, and seems to have settled with Palmerston North lately.
14 seasons of basketball for Daryl June. And a steal. And the Stars have raised. Glenn Joe has fouled.
2 shots.
Daryl June got back on defense and prevented the easy 2 points. And it'll be 2 free throws to come with the lead. Still with the Jets, a 5-pointer, 9-4.
2 shots, guys. Here we see just across the arm there, Daryl June. He started up his McCulloch chainsaw and went to work.
Oh, yes. Joe on the free throw line. 2 to come. 6:38 left to play in the first period. Not a big crowd up here, Chris, at Waitakere Stadium. This beautiful, beautiful venue.
Yeah, fantastic venue here out west. And Wednesday night, they had the game against the Heat. And it was a close one. 8 seconds to go. And Casey Frank finished the Heat off. But the Heat, I believe, led for the entire game. So plenty of basketball this week.
The Stars sort of escaped there with a win. But that shoved their record to 4-2, and they're in second place at the moment.
Yeah.
Substitution coming onto court for Manawatu. Miles Pierce replacing Daryl June. A bigger body for a big body.
Yeah, and that's the key, isn't it? That they've got to have someone like Mike Hommick, or sorry, Pierce being able to guard Mike Hommick. Otherwise, he's just going to push him around the whole time.
Good athletic save from Mike Coleman. Manawatu now under pressure here. Coleman from the three-point line misses a shot, and Casey Frank gets his hand to the rebound, and the Stars haven't scored for quite some time now. It remains 9-4. Things have gone very, very quiet here at the Trust Stadium. Hommick, turnaround jumper. You very seldom see him shoot that shot. Tate, baseline, and he's fouled, a blocking foul. Mike Coleman. Coleman blocking on the baseline into the game. Dylan Boucher, 1,000 career rebounds for Dylan Boucher. What? 11 years in the league. And he's carrying a 9-point per game average. Shooting 58% from the floor. Good stats. Hommick has his shot blocked once again by Cooper. Morey ends up with the ball, and he's closely marked by Hommick, who now goes down.
Averaging 1.5 blocks a game. Cooper, as Morey lets a three go.
Pierce gets a rebound, and the Jets get another chance. 9-6. Gap is closed. 3 points the difference. 5 minutes left in the first period. Pierce, little fake, goes to the hoop, and Cooper gets a putback.
Was that a pass?
We'd like to say it was.
We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I think he passed off the backboard. You don't see that very often.
Smart basketball if it was. Frank from way outside misses, and the Jets come away again. 11-6. Good spin dribble. Lambert kicks it back outside. Here he is, a three-point expert. Misses it, and Casey Frank, another rebound. Well, it's still early moments. Both teams
He's actually trying to post up.
Trying to cut down the airs, and the shooting isn't particularly good early on, but we often see that, Jeff Green.
Yeah, certainly do, Bob. And there you see Mike Hommick on the offensive glass. That's going against a smaller Kent Morey. And he's able to pass the ball into Dylan Boucher. He misses the basket, but Miles Pierce just comes off his hands and out of bounds.
Well, Miles thought there was somebody just on his shoulder, and I think he was trying to both protect the ball and gather in the rebound. He fluffed it. Out of bounds it went. Timeout has been taken with 4:17 left in the first period, and the Jets still sitting on a handy 5-point lead. It's 11-6. Well, here's the Jets bench, and kneeling there is Coach Darren Larson. Well, Chris Tupu, I think if the Jets can keep this game something of a helter-skelter, not particularly pretty game of basketball, they might stay with the Stars.
Well, they might do. I'm just not sure about how deep their bench is. I know in the statistics they're about third or so in scoring off the bench, but big men, I just don't think they have, you know, the big men to match the Auckland Stars when Casey Frank and Kareem Johnson, I mean, he's just been checked into the game. We've got 4 minutes left, so they've got a bit more firepower, definitely.
And
Auckland.
that's the Achilles heel too, so I agree with you. For the Jets, they just don't have the big man rotation to be able to go a whole game like that. They're going to have to rely on David Cooper staying out of foul trouble, Miles Pearce staying out of foul trouble, and after those two, then they get very, very small.
Well, that's true, but Cooper is not prone to fouling too much. He's a very smart player. Tate loses the ball on the dribble. Trying to do perhaps a little bit too much early on here. The ball goes out of bounds. Now Boucher putting on a little his version of a full court pressure. Stacey Lambert straight to the hoop and goes over Kareem Johnson for the two.
Well, you know, the thing that has impressed me about the Jets right now is the fact that, you know, a lot of their baskets tonight, you know, they've scored 13 points, have been going to the basket rather than shooting away from it.
Beautiful give and go. Sorry, Bob, there. Dylan Boucher with a great finish.
Yeah, but check that pass from Casey Frank. Look one way and bounce past the other. I loved it. Cooper. Well, you see a lot of physical play out there. Guys falling down. The foul is called by Frank. Cooper would have gotten 2 points, and Frank catching up to him commits the foul.
But I like the way that the referees are letting the play go. And here we go. Miles Pearce gets the ball down low to David Cooper. And Casey did have him by the arm. So, you know, fair enough call there. But I like the physicality, as you know, Bob. I think it's great for the game that sometimes the referees just let that, as long as there's no advantage to anyone, and we know we don't have advantage here in New Zealand, but as long as there's no advantage to anyone, just let the play go, and I think the referees are handling it well.
I think you're right, Jeff, and there's no frustration creeping into the game, none at all. Players know what they're doing. They know what's physical and allowable and what isn't. Well, a missed shot from the baseline, and Kareem Johnson with his first rebound. And into the game, number 22, breaker, Aaron Olson. Spinning underneath is Boucher. That's the second one he's missed. Couple of gimme putts. So active under the basket. Always in there. Coleman kicks it outside to Lambert from the three-point line.
Second three of the game for Stacey Lambert. First quarter, you don't want to let that guy heat up. As we said before, he is leading the league. Three-point shooting, 47%. That's fantastic shooting.
Well, Coleman and Aaron Olson having a real set two out front, and underneath, pushing the back comes from Lambert. Kareem Johnson all alone. And Coleman versus Aaron Olson. That was a good little matchup.
It certainly was, and this was a great pass. The Casey Frank that, here we go. Aaron, he hustles for it. He gets it to, somehow gets it to Casey and Frank, and Casey just finds the big fella underneath unopposed, but got fouled in the process of trying to shoot it. But scrappy game, Bob. You know, it's only 16-11, 2.5 minutes to go. Very scrappy. We haven't seen a lot of quality from these two teams yet, but they are capable of it.
Well, I agree, Jeff. It is scrappy, but I think that plays right into the Jets' hands. They've committed 5 fouls already, but no one has more than 1 foul. It's exactly what they need to do to unsettle the Stars. Knock their confidence early on if they can. 16-13 as Lambert launches another one. Chris Tupou, you call it.
Well, as we said before, this Manawatu team, they really do rely on their three-point shooting. You know, in the last 2 or 3 years, you'd agree, Bob?
Oh, indeed. Well, Kareem Johnson got a nice feed from Boucher, who just stole the ball off of Miles Pearce. And Johnson took steps. Well, a little turnover there. The Stars could have cut the lead. It's a 19-13 lead. 2:02 left to play in the first period. It's not pretty, but it's certainly what the Jets would like to see more of. Coleman misses a 3. Long pass ahead, and Boucher finishes it off, but 41. Brock fouls him from behind.
Well, this is what I was talking about before too, Bob. The fact that the Jets are now forced to bring in Callum Brock, who's the other forward, and this is Callum here fouling. Well, He didn't foul Dylan. Perhaps the TV angle wasn't good enough for the referees, but he just didn't look like he fouled. But this is where I think the Stars have to exploit the weakness of the Jets. And, you know, Callum's a good journeyman. He's been around the league a long time. He's played, you know, age groups for a long time. And, you know, he's a tough competitor. But he's now the power forward if Miles Pearce is playing centre.
Well, you're right. But as Chris said earlier, 23 points off the bench per game for the Jets, 16 per game off the bench for the Stars. Now, that might mean that the bench for the Jets is stronger, but it also might mean that overall the Jets don't have a lineup that's as strong as the Stars. Wow, that was good rebounding there from Coleman. He put it on the glass. Oh, that was Miles Pearce, but lost the ball in the end. Inside it goes to Johnson, spins, and puts it in.
There we see the dominance. Kareem Johnson running the lane and having his way over the smaller Callum Brock.
Into the corner, Brock. Underneath, Miles Pearce manages to get it off the glass and in. Nice athletic shot.
You're right, Bob. That was a nice shot by Miles Pearce. And you could see on the screen there that he and Kareem Johnson really went at each other very hard. And there you go once again. Kareem Johnson, a miss from Casey Frank, and an easy putback from Kareem Johnson. He's not going to get any easier rebounds than that, Toops.
Well, the thing I like about Kareem Johnson is he's a role player. Comes off the bench, does his job, picks up a few garbage rebounds, gets some points. You know, he can score. You know, we've seen that before in the games. And Nelson, he played very well a couple of weeks ago, and I talked to Lindsay Tate, and he rates this guy, Kareem Johnson. He thinks he's a good role player for them.
Well, obviously, Kenny Stone, a pretty astute judge of quality players, has hung on to him. 23-18 on that shot from Brock. Tate drifting along the baseline. That's just a great little guard move. He just couldn't finish it off. Here comes Coleman. 8 seconds left on the clock. Gives it up. Lambert hits glass. And as time runs out, Hokianga makes the steal at halfway. At the end of 10 minutes, it's the Jets leading the Stars by 5. It's 23-18.
Sort of up-tempo pressure defense sort of style of game.
And that's the key, too. You don't want to get the Heat on a second game. Like, you know, because they're going to run you to death. And with the lineup that the Jets have, I don't know if they're going to be able to handle 2 games in a row like that.
A whole team of boy racers, and all of them ADHD. They're all hyperactive.
And they're not from Hamilton.
Very good. Score 2-2. Casey Frank underneath. There he is. Kareem Johnson picks up another 2 points.
You know what I like about Kareem Johnson, Bob? The fact is that he, as an American import, he doesn't demand the ball. He just goes about his business. And talking to the guys from the Stars, they're real happy with that. You know, he's not pretentious. He just wants to do his job and look for a championship. I think that's great.
Well, that's true. Hokianga loses the ball. Stars come away. Another turnover against the Jets. And their lead is cut to 3 now. 23-20. Ball goes inside. Johnson backing in against Brock. Ball stolen by Coleman. 2-on-1 fast break. Tries to get it to Lambert. Far too late. Lindsay Tate makes the steal.
That's probably the easiest steal Lindsay Tate's going to make and go end to end and score an easy layup like that. No defense by the Jets showing there at the moment.
Now, you're right, Jeff. Hokianga, number 5 for the Jets. Into the game. Coleman, marked by Dylan Boucher. There's a nightmare for you. How'd you like to play with Dylan Boucher looking in your eyes the whole game?
I know, and we've seen a couple of new imports into the country this year having to go against Dylan, but there you go. David Cooper, as a big man, runs the floor well, Toops.
He does. He's really athletic. You know, one of the things that is his strength, I reckon, is his mobility. He's not a big, slow centre. He's really agile. We know that. He can block shots, and he runs the floor well.
2.1 meters tall as well. And leading scorer in the game right now, Stacey Lambert for the Jets, but Kareem Johnson has 10 for the Stars. Aaron Olsen makes a steal. The Jets just forcing things too much now, and the Stars counteracting with a few steals and runaway layups.
And you've got a good defensive player in Aaron Olsen anyway. So, yeah, Mike Coleman's not only looking at Aaron Olsen, he's got Dylan Boucher and his mates. Yeah, it really is a difficult job for him. He's wondering what the heck is happening here.
The knives are sharpened. He's ready for a few steals. And Callum Brock on the line to shoot a couple. He was fouled on the shooter. Good pass inside to him. The Jets are just being forced very, very wide offensively. And the guards under tremendous pressure up top have turned the ball over too many times. And suddenly, after leading for almost a quarter and a third, find themselves down for the first time of the game, 26-25, the free throws to come.
It really is interesting. Another point in this game that I'm finding very interesting is that Kenny Stone hasn't ventured too far away from 7 players. You know, the fact that maybe he's just trying to get that rotation right now that Aaron Olsen's back. He's going to lose Lindsay Tate to the Breakers tour, as well as so you know, he just maybe trying to get that rotation right before they leave.
Well, you're probably right. Because it's a home game, you look down at the Stars bench, it looks like they've got a battalion of people sitting there. Dozens of them. But as Jeff says, he's sticking with 7 major players. That time, little misunderstanding, and Boucher throws the ball out of bounds. Miscommunication there.
And it was a great seal by the Beastie. He had his man sealed, Daryl June, down low, but just didn't connect on that pass.
Well, Kent Morey having to play point guard. Cooper, Daryl June, Stacey Lambert guarded by one of the most dogged of defenders, Aaron Olsen. And Lambert shakes him off and knocks down a 3.
He's in his zone right now, Stacey Lambert. Player was running at him. Not sure we'll get another look at that, but Lambert now 14 points in the game, leads all scores. Bit of a headache there for Kenny Stone. Lambert, at this stage, if he's he's on track for a 30-point game.
Well, that's right, Chris. That's 3 3-pointers, I believe, or is it 4? Morey, number 21, picks up the foul at halfway. The Jets trying to unsettle Lindsay Tate a bit, to no avail. They pick up a foul for their efforts. 30-26, 4-point lead back with the Jets now. Tate trying to come off the pick set by Johnson. No room to move. Boucher baseline, gets it into Homick. Oh, Cooper.
David Cooper. He blocks shots like it's, there's no tomorrow. He really does block a lot of shots in this league. And once again, he shows his value defensively.
The thing about Cooper, sorry, Bob, is that he goes where the ball is being shot to. A lot of players, they'll try and block and they'll take it personally and they're trying to, get their hand right on top of the other guy's hand. That's not the key to blocking. I never used to block too many shots, but I know that the big guys I used to watch that could block shots, they always waited for the ball to be in flight and then they used to, do the volleyball spot.
I'm not even going to say anything about you blocking shots.
I did have the odd block every now and then, Jeff.
It was, Jeff, and it was an awesome sight, believe me.
I could understand it would be an awesome sight, too. There is some respect there.
Al Homick, he's just committed a foul. 30-26. The Jets clinging to a 4-point lead, and the game continues to be what we might call a little bit scrappy, a little bit ugly, but just playing right into the Jets' hands. But I really have to feel a little bit for Morey. He's the point guard at the moment, and he's being hounded everywhere he goes. I think he'd much rather step into that the shooting guard position, rather than bring the ball up.
That's a little hard with Lambert playing so well, as we see June called for steps. A little late night shuffle down there in the lane.
Yeah, it was, Chris. A little tap dance.
And there we go.
Beatrice
Famuina, Olympian. She loves her basketball. I see her at a lot of basketball games.
Ooh, imagine her playing basketball. What a treat that would be. Olsen goes baseline.
Have the arm out and you hit it. You didn't get the arm out.
Aaron Olsen.
2 shots.
Straight to the basket there for Aaron Olsen. It's only his second game back. Missed the first few games. He took a little bit of a break, a well-needed break, I must say.
And here we go. Aaron goes, he beats David Cooper off the dribble and runs straight into Daryl June. But Daryl there trying to plead his case to Alan Godden. And Judge Godden didn't want to hear it.
Well, he had his arm sticking out, impeding the progress of Aaron Olsen, who's a very good free throw shooter. Second to come, 30-27, 6 minutes 16 to play in the first half. 2-point lead, the Jets. who've led almost all the way thus far. Covers Cooper, marked by Homick. Daryl June with a three-point shot. Now he's a 39% three-point shooter over 14 seasons. Not bad for a big guy.
The thing about Daryl is every now and then he'll come up with a game and he'll hit some money shots. Not just, you know, the odd three, but he'll make some big shots in the whole scheme of the game.
And Daryl June can shoot the three. As you say, Bob, a 39% career three-point shooter. That's no easy task to be able to do that over 14 seasons.
This way.
Well, now Cooper just couldn't get a handle on that basketball. He was lying on the floor, and finally Kareem Johnson came out, tried to make the steal, and foul covers Cooper. And Kent Morey feeling the pressure, I think, of playing that point guard spot.
Mike,
he can handle the ball, Kent Morey. There's no two ways about it. He can play the point, but as you say, his preferred position is shooting the rock. And don't we all like to shoot the rock anyway?
Hey, I like Kent Morey. I've liked him for years, but Jeff, come on, he's 34 years old at a point guard.
He can still shoot the rock, though.
Oh, indeed. Lambert takes it inside. He gets it off the glass.
Well, Lambert now with 17 points in the ball game. That time going to his drive, and that's what a jump shot can do for you. Can open up the lane for you. In the case of Lambert there.
Daryl June makes the steal. Reese Cassidy just trying to do too much with the ball in the lane, lost it, and June got down on his knees to pick up the loose ball. A lot of hustle coming from the Jets, and it's paying off for them. 35-28, just under 5 to play in the first half.
And that really has kept them in. That hustle has really kept them in this game. And there you go, Michael Coleman showing us his range, and all of a sudden, Bob, we've got a 10-point lead. Toops and I wouldn't have picked that.
He shot that like a stealth jet.
It was slick offense. A couple of pick and rolls out high there. Coleman open in the corner. Tate trying to make it happen.
Well, Cooper and Reese Cassidy pushing one another away. Cooper got the ball.
Oh, that was
nice
a lovely pass.
Oh, yes.
Michael Coleman, lovely pass down low to a cutting Stacey Lambert.
Well, a timeout goes the Stars' way. They needed 4:24 to play in the first half. They're down by 10, 38-28.
There he goes. He's still nodding away there.
Timeout taken, 1:52 left in the first half. 10-point spread. The Jets still looking pretty comfortable against the Stars. 47-37.
The 12 from the free throw line, and that is absolutely disgusting. They would be in this ball game if they'd got another 5 even.
Well, call that a shocker, because that's what it is. Vesey now guarding the new player in the ball game for the Stars, Glenn Joe, number 13. Boucher against Callum Brock, the beast, going against David Cooper.
Got your arm in there first, and you brought him up. 2, 14.
Well, the Beastie got the best of that one. Yep, Beastie got the best of that call with one of the best shot blockers in the league, David Cooper. That could have gone either way, but and here we go down low. They get the ball into Beastie. He wheels and deals a bit. David Cooper, look at the good defensive position. Oh, and Alan Godwin called it right. He just got him on the arm as he came back around. So good call.
Looked a little more like Cooper was just engaging in a little self-defense, a little self-protection here. But look at the fouls for the Jets. 4 players on 2 fouls, 2 players on 1 foul each. They're certainly sharing them around, Jeff.
They're sharing them around, Bob, but it's the 2 big guys that they've got to be worried about on foul trouble.
Oh, I agree with you. It's a long way to go. Coleman guarded by Boucher. That's a nightmare. Oh, my goodness me. That's a 5-pointer.
All Coleman has seen is Dylan Boucher in his mug the whole night long, and then all of a sudden he says, well, I'm going to try and get rid of you from the 5-point line rather than the 3-point line.
Well, he's a meter beyond the 3-point arc, and then he did a step-back jumper, which put him further beyond the arc and knocked it down. Boucher baseline, gives it up to Glenn Joe, little fake, goes to the hoop.
Oh, that was a lovely move by G.I. Joe, Glenn Joe. That was absolutely magic.
Gee, I like that, Joe.
Yeah. Quit it.
Let's go, guys.
Yeah, that was a lovely move.
Yeah, it's class from the young, well, I guess he isn't quite so young anymore. 27 years old.
Yeah, no, he's been around a long time, Glenn.
One only.
He certainly looks very, very young and a very mature player. 50-40 into the last minute of play here in the first half. Callum Brock just kept the beast away from that rebound and let it bounce on the floor. That's exactly, in theory, what should happen every time if you're boxing off the boards correctly, Jeff.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what Callum Brock did do. So he did his job.
Cooper triple teamed as the ball went into him. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Hokianga back to Kent Morey. Morey's got to put it up, and he does off the glass. Doesn't drop it. Well, now the shot clock went off, and Reese Cassidy thought that was the game clock for halftime, so he threw it the length of the court, just misunderstood, and gives the ball straight back to the Jets.
And quite rightly, Alan Gotton says, well, you threw it up and turned it over, don't know why, and it's the Jets' ball. Just hasn't gone the Stars' way tonight, has it?
No, it's not in the Stars for them tonight, I think, Jeff. 10-point difference, 12 seconds, and counting down.
Yeah, well, it's in Kent Morey's crystal ball. Coleman way off balance, and oh, gee. They pinned Dylan Boucher for a foul after the shot. Referee Peter Harrison is informing Dylan.
Yeah, Dylan pleading his case. You can see the look on his face. He's talking, but he does all the time. Most players do.
Here we go. We'll see a shot of it here. Coleman backs Glenn Joe down. We just didn't get quite enough angle there, so we'll have to agree with the referees. That was a good call, Bob.
Yeah, we'll give it to him. Free throws, 7 of 15 for the Stars. That's a bit of a shocker. 5 of 7 for the Jets. Just what they need on the road. First of 2. Tomorrow night they take on the Heat. Long full court pass, and Boucher's going to be called for pushing off. Morey stuck with him, and Boucher just gave him a shot.
And I think Dylan knows, Peter Harrison was waiting in for him. Dylan, the play before, was down there talking to him. See, Peter, he's got a bit of a smile on his face here, referee Peter Harrison. He was laying and waiting for Dylan, and Dylan fell into the trap.
That's dead right. Now, 1.1 second to play. They try to get it to Callum Brock underneath. Length of the court heave by Glenn Joe. It doesn't go down. At the end of 20 minutes of play, Lambert gets a couple, and from a 5-point lead after 10 minutes, the Jets inflated the cushion to 11 on plays like this. Coleman to Lambert, and young Kane Hokianga takes a fearless trip to the hoop to get 2. Halftime score, 51, Jets 40, Stars. Well, Jeff Green and Chris Tupu, we've got 20 minutes of ball to play. You've both predicted a Stars victory. It's certainly possible, but how are they going to have to change their first half play to get there?
It all can throw on you, and they've thrown it, a couple of times this year that we've watched games here on TV too, and it's been devastating. So, if the Jets don't have the shooters, and they've got good shooters, mind you, with Mike Coleman and Stacey Lambert, etc., and of course Ken Morey, but if they go cold shooting wise, then it'd be turned around very quickly, Bob.
Well, that's right. Morey tried to hit Daryl June, who played such a good part in that first period. The ball goes off his hands. That's the first turnover. That's 17 turnovers in the game for the Jets, Chris Tupu.
Well, the Stars just haven't capitalized on a lot of those turnovers, and they're paying the price. The Jets on the other end, they are shooting 54%. Check it out, 54% from the three-point line. That's fantastic. Most of them have come from Lambert, 4 of 5 from beyond the arc for Stacey Lambert, and Coleman combined for over 50% of the Jets' points in the first half.
Yeah, that's the story right there. And the other story is the Stars were 7 of 15, 7 of 14, I believe it was, from the free throw line, which is terrible. Morey misses a shot, and the Stars want to run it. Cassidy now pulls up 51-40. Neither team has scored. 60 seconds have elapsed. Into the corner, Tate steps out beyond the three-point line and misses another one, and Cooper gets another rebound.
And he's leading the break. Oh, great basketball by David Cooper. That's the center. leading the fast break. No one from Auckland got back on defence, and haven't we been saying that a lot this year, Toops? Getting back defensively.
Yeah, I was going to say, that was pretty average defence there from the Auckland side. David Cooper got the rebound, pretty much dribbled all the length of the court and laid it off to his mate. Here's Coleman.
Coleman misses a shot, but Coleman was overplaying Reese Cassidy to the top. He gave up the baseline completely. Cassidy finally tried to take it. Coleman reached in and swiped the ball. Amazing. Tate into the lane, kicks it out. Cassidy lines up a three. It's a bit of a brick.
He had all night to shoot that as well.
Well, the Stars are really pressing offensively. They look all at sea. Coleman finally has to take the three because no one came out to get him, and Cooper gets his hands on the rebound but loses it out front. Here's Lindsay Tate. So good on the dribble. Cassidy again, a repeat, different side of the floor.
Well, he was able to hit that one, Toops, this time round, but gee, the Jets are challenging him to shoot that.
They could well have targeted Cassidy.
Oh, nice look inside, but the pass wasn't there. Cooper faked as though he was going to make a pick and just slipped to the basket. They couldn't get him the ball, and Tate punishes him at the other end.
Well, you know, that's the second three in a row for the Stars, Bob. They started off very cold shooting. You know, they missed their first three shots, but they've nailed the last two three-pointers, so that's a good sign.
Morey goes to the hoop and has his shot blocked off the glass.
Well, at half-time, sorry, Bob, Lindsay Tate had just 7 points. He averages 22, so you can expect him to start filling it up this half. I think against the Heat on Wednesday night, I think he had something like 20 points in the second half.
Well, he's that sort of player. He can put in 20 and a quarter if you leave him.
And that's what you need from your franchise player. And there's Darren Larson, Coach Larson, just asking the question, but Mike Homick was just too big, too strong down low, and here we go. Casey Frank gets the ball down into, look at the, Daryl June's got no option but to try and put the beast to the floor, which he did, but obviously he picks up the foul for it.
Little fake from Lindsay Tate, gets the ball to Casey Frank, who tried a reverse layup. Maybe should have just gone straight up and dunked it. Ball was blocked, and the Jets come up with it. Morey kicks it outside, and Cooper from the free throw line misses another shot. The Jets have gone cold here, and Tate, it's the Tate show. He knocks it outside. G.I. Joe.
Glenn Joe hits the easy jumper from the baseline, and it all started with the defensive push from Lindsay Tate down the other end, Toops.
Yeah, the defense, and also that, I mean, just a little bit more up-tempo. Tate getting the ball and starting to push it out on the break a little bit more, and they look quite comfortable when they run the break, the Stars.
Lambert gets the roll, and Cooper's hands covers there. We're just up around the hoop. He was ready to slam the lid on it, had the ball popped out.
Well, when you've got someone like Stacey Lambert, he's absolutely hot. 22 points for the game so far. Anything he's throwing up at the moment is going to go in and going to look good.
Yeah, he's getting a good roll on his shots. 55-48. The Stars have made a dent in that 11-point halftime lead. Tate gives it up, and Glenn Joe's got it. From him.
Well, he hasn't played I think he just played 8 minutes in the first half, Glenn Joe. Of course, Aaron Olsen is back, so he'll be eating into his minutes. But Glenn Joe, maybe he's given Kenny something to think about. Hey, leave me out here a little bit.
Daryl June comes out beyond the three-point line, and a 39%, 14-season veteran knocks it down.
And that's the sort of shot that Daryl June, as Toop said in the first half, can hurt you. But there you go, the quickness of Lindsay Tate for the reverse layup.
Quickly out to 12 points now for Lindsay Tate to lead the Stars in scoring.
Well, from 11, the lead is shrunk to 5. Morey has to give it up. Lambert inside. Cooper, little fake off the glass. No foul was called. He's knocked out of bounds. But the ball goes off one of the Stars players, so the Jets retain possession.
Well, you could hear the referee, Peter Harrison, saying that was good defense by Reese Cassidy. There was no foul there, no contact. And I wish I could get the look that you just gave there, Bob.
Well, I was trying to understand that. Cooper might not have been... Well, now he gets called for a charge.
Well,
Homick, playing good defense, gets in front of him and draws a charge foul, Chris.
Yeah, great position there from Mike Homick. just stood his ground, didn't take the up fake. Smacked him dead in the chest, and that's always a good sign that was a charging foul.
That's crucial. 2 players now for the Jets on 3 fouls. Daryl June and the big man David Cooper. Lindsay Tate free to roam on the baseline, gives it out to Cassidy, who gives it to Frank. Smacks it through.
You've got to get out of here, Bob. Casey Frank, what on earth was he thinking when he went that high, that hard on the dunk? That was awesome.
Well, I had a little chat to him before the game, guys, and I said, hey, come on, Casey, give us a couple of highlights to think about, and that's one for the highlight reel for sure.
Well, you've got to say to yourself, that is great basketball. Here we go. Reese Cassidy down the lane. Look at Casey. Oh,
7.6 on the Richter scale.
Oh, my goodness. His elbows were up around the rim. Casey Frank, we know he's got hops, that boy, but geez.
Well, at the other end of the court, Frank immediately commits foul number 3. I think it's going to be foul number 3 on him. So, off the dunk comes a bit of a mistake. 2 more fouls, he's out of the game. Fouls are going to play a big part in this ball game as Coleman gets it over the outstretched hand of Kareem Johnson.
Beautiful touch shot there from Mike Coleman.
Miles Pierce was standing out of bounds when that ball was knocked toward him. He tried to keep it in bounds, but nope. His foot was on the line. 60-55, 5-point lead. 3 minutes, 54 seconds left to play in the 3rd period. Ah, beautiful shot, little fadeaway jumper from Frank.
And Casey Frank, he can hit that little jumper at the free throw line like that, turning around. Very nice.
Cross-court pass from Cooper. Hokianga, he's got the big 3.
Well, Lambert, very good 3-point shooter. Kane Hokianga, I think he's very underrated. 3rd leading 3-point shooter in the league this year. Stacey's number 1, so they've got a couple of guys there that can really fill it up.
You're right, Chris. I go along with you there. Very underrated he is. Cassidy's not particularly shooting well and probably not taking the best of shots. Maybe it's time for Cassidy to take a trip to the bench.
Well, back-to-back baskets for Mike Coleman.
Well, Coach Montai there offering a bit of advice, and yeah, I don't like Reese shooting so many threes that he is. He's good going to the basket, Bob.
Casey Frank from out beyond 3-point land. Nice shot. Frank knocks it down.
Well, like Ed Book, he loves the top of the keyhole there. And, you know, that's a feature of his players. Miles answers the question. Slams it home.
He does slam it home. That's because Casey Frank went for the gamble because David Cooper was all on alone. And Casey ended up on his teammates' laps over on the bench there. So that was a pretty easy dunk for Miles Pierce to get.
Yeah, it was nice. The question was, can you make a dunk? Miles answered emphatically. 67-60, 2 minutes, 14 seconds in the 3rd period. Stars got to within 5 from the corner. Hokianga, there he is, your man, Chris Stupu.
There he is again, old Kane Hokianga. High fives there coming from his teammates. He can shoot it. I've seen him shoot it long, you know, over the years, and he's just nice and steady. Sets himself, and he's got a quiet upper body. When he shoots a 3, got a quiet upper body.
Well, that's 2 in a row, 70-60, the 10-point lead reinstated here by the Jets. The Stars have taken a timeout. There's 2 minutes and 6 seconds to play in the 3rd period. Here's your action man, Casey Frank. That's a big one.
But he shows also, Bob, that he can also shoot the 3 there, you know, as an extra man, as well as dunk the basketball.
Very versatile. Now we've got Aaron Olson, 22, back in the game for the Stars. Dylan Boucher, and Tate launches a 3. It doesn't go down, and Coleman gets the rebound. So the Stars pulling out all stops now. Defensive specialists, 2 of them now in the game, and Aaron Olson also a very good shooter. And Coleman works it inside and gets a 2.
Well, he seems like a really smart player, does Michael Coleman. I'm impressed with him so far, Bob.
Indeed, Chris, I agree with you. He's been around a long time, 29 years old. It's probably a good buy for the Jets. Johnson, who had 10 points in the first half, has 2 people blocking that shot.
Well, Miles Pearce is very excited there. He got a nice block. It was nice and clean. So very excited there. And there we see Kareem Johnson backing down Miles Pearce. David Cooper comes across to help, but Miles got all basketball.
Lindsay Tate protected the ball nicely and got it off the glass.
That's why he's probably the best up-and-coming young player in the league.
Yeah, that shot was all class. Hokianga gives it up to Cooper. 10-point spread into the last minute of play here in the third period. Hokianga in the lane. Gives it out. Pierce spin dribbling against Casey Frank. Cooper from outside. He's got it.
Well, can you believe it? A 12-point lead. The Stars got themselves back in with some nice shooting. And all of a sudden they've gone cold. Mikey Hommick, the beast, was able to tip it in there. But, gee, the Stars have a lot of work to do in this fourth quarter, Bob, coming up.
Give it to Boucher. Boucher's on the court. He got up. Nice hand. Got the putback. 74-64. Time running down here. 26 seconds as Morey launches a bomb, and it goes up and over the basket. That's out of bounds. So plenty of time here for the Stars to cut into this lead.
Lindsay Tate's, sorry, Bob, Lindsay Tate's just starting to, you know, come into his own. He's looking pretty comfortable on the ball, you know, dribbling and sort of doing his stuff. Look for him to try and wind the clock down and take this last shot.
I'm not losing faith, Bob, but the Stars are struggling.
Well, this is an important possession right here. Johnson backs in, little fadeaway shot on the ring. It doesn't go down, and Cooper caught from behind by Boucher. Now, Boucher's going to pick up his... Let me just check here. It's coming. Boucher.
No foul was called. Just a foot out of bounds, I believe. Boucher just, you know, sneaking around behind the player.
Yeah, you're right. I thought it might have been his 4th foul. And just at the buzzer, Miles Pearce puts up the 3. Now he's protesting something to the referee. But anyway, the shot doesn't drop. So at the end of 30 minutes of play, the Jets still with a 10-point lead over the Stars, 74-64.
Looks like they're running the clock back 4 seconds, I believe.
Resetting, putting it back to 4 seconds. That was a mistake by the score bench. So 4 seconds with the Jets to inbound the ball. That's what Miles Pearce was talking about excitedly to the referee. Morey, halfway, dribbling. Launches it. And Boucher gets up and pins it on the glass. So after another 4 seconds of play, we still have the same score at the end of 30 minutes. 74 to the Jets and 64 to the Stars. From the third quarter, and Lindsay Tate began to come alive for the Stars. The guy is magic with a ball in his hand. And a big dunk from Casey Frank. Jeff, you loved that one.
Oh, that was just unbelievable. As we said in the commentary, though, there's Casey Frank showing his versatility. Can shoot the 3 as well as dunk the basketball. Good player.
Okay, fellas, it's 74-64, a 10-point spread. There's 10 minutes to go. It's anybody's ball game. But you got to say, the way the Stars are playing, they just haven't been consistent enough to cut into the Jets' lead. They got 1 point back from halftime when they were down by 11.
The Jets continuing to strike it from outside. 10 of 20, 50% from beyond the arc. As Olsen, well, he fires one down himself.
Well, that's the key for the Stars, isn't it? Aaron Olsen's got to get on track. And some defensive plays like this. Kareem Johnson with a big slam.
Surprisingly quick for the big man. He made the steal at halfway and just in a foot race with Cooper, left Cooper standing still, and he got the dunk. Here's Kareem Johnson with another one, and this time Kareem careens into Cooper, knocks him flying, and he picks up a foul for his effort.
Well, that was almost a carbon copy play of the one just prior to that where Kareem Johnson went down the lane, but
carbon copy in this day of photocopiers and digital tech. You're talking about carbon copies, Jeff. I love it.
It shows how old I am, Bob. Show my age. I don't know if it sounds right, though. That was a photocopy of the play before. See, it doesn't sound right.
Instantaneous replay. How's that? But I like carbon copy, Jeff. Callum Brock gives it straight back to Morey. Oh, that sweet running left-hander.
In traffic from a great assist there from Callum Brock, and Morey somehow gets a left-hand layup, scoop shot off the glass to drop. 76-69 to the Jets.
Well, they're finding a few holes inside. There was a nice pass from Johnson, who found Boucher on the baseline. This time, Boucher, who missed 2 of those in the first half, collects the 2 points, and suddenly it's a 5-point ball game, just the way the second half started. Another turnover. Here come the Stars.
And Casey Frank had a good look at Miles Pearce and said, well, I can dunk it as good as you, if not better.
He said, I dare you.
That's what we call posterized. That was a poster dunk, that one. Sorry, Miles, but Casey Frank is all over him.
Morey's double teamed. He gets it away to Stacey Lambert. There's 3 seconds on the shot clock, and Lambert looking for the foul, screaming for the foul, throws it out of bounds.
Well, the Stars defense has just come alive.
Here we go. Aaron Olsen, that play before, going down the lane. Dishes off to his good mate, Casey Frank, and Casey sure knows what to do with that, Bob. Finish easy finish.
Quick as a wink. We've got a 7-point turnaround here at 76-73. The Jets are still leading, but boy, oh boy, their lead has evaporated, and they don't look very steady right now.
And it's a combination of 2 things, too. Good defense by Auckland and some very bad turnovers by the Jets.
Yeah, I'll agree with you there. The defense has definitely picked up from the Stars.
Well, the Jets playing in a little bit of star turbulence here. 3-point lead, and Kent Morey not very happy, and Lambert, who's the game's leading scorer at the moment with 22 points. Michael Coleman, 16 for the Jets. And for the Stars, Tate has 14. Johnson has 12. Good game from him. And Casey Frank, 11.
You'll like these stats, Bob. Stacey Lambert has scored 2 points this half.
Oh, that's a big one. That's a big one. It was a key factor for the Jets in the first half. He's virtually been shut out of the game in the second half. Aaron Olsen, what a shot.
And just like Aaron Olsen gave the nice pass for the dunk for Casey Frank repays the favor by setting up Aaron Olsen for the easy 3.
Well, it's money time right now. The defense has been stepped up by the reigning champions, and they seem to have clawed their way right back in this game.
Well, I think right there, Tubes, was a statement by Casey Frank and the Auckland defense.
Oh, you notice the excitement in these boys' voices now as the scores are locked, 76 all.
Well, and here we go. If you have a look right here, Bob, Kent Morey goes strong, and Casey Frank equally as strong on the defensive end, and said, look, this is money time, boys, 76 all. If you're going to win it, you're going to have to earn it the hard way.
Well, Morey shoots 78 out of 100 from that stripe. He's got the first.
He's one of the best in the league at milking fouls, old Kent Morey. But a very good free throw shooter.
You know, when his forehead is shining, he's in the game.
Well, his crystal ball is working tonight so far.
7:33 left to play in the ball game. 2-point lead to the Jets. They've led almost the whole way. They gave up their lead in the second period, but got it straight back. And from the corner, the Stars miss it. Tate trying to save the ball, throws it out of bounds. But there's a hustle, there's a bounce, and the Stars step.
Well, I'm sure Kenny Stone wouldn't have been happy with the sort of defense that we've seen in these first 3 quarters. And they really had to step it up if they're going to beat these Manawatu Jets.
Oh, yeah, the Jets aren't going to just run away and hide. Coleman, a few things to be said from him, I think, before the game is over. 7 minutes to play. Here we go. Primo NBL basketball at its best.
And it's that defense once again. Dylan Boucher and Kareem Johnson. Kareem Johnson showed coming off the screen there. Dylan Boucher was able to slip around, and Kareem just went straight back into the passing lane and was able to deflect the ball. That's what you try and teach kids. Jump back into the passing lane. If you lose your man, you're bound to get a tip.
Cooper, baseline, comes around behind, and Boucher blocks a shot. It goes out of bounds. No foul. Good block from Boucher. Cooper ends up on the floor, but he's looking for that reverse dunk.
Well, Boucher, eh? Fantastic block. Got a hand for the ball.
It's that defense again, isn't it? The Stars have really turned the screws.
Boucher, the nightmare of Waitakere. How'd you like that man to be marking you for a whole game?
No,
ball goes inside. Coleman off the glass. He's got 2. Good little inbounds play. Gives the Jet Jets an easy 2 points.
You wouldn't want...
Lead back to 4.
You wouldn't want anyone, Dylan Boucher guarding anyone. Just ask Adam Spanish from Nelson. He's seen a lot of Dylan Boucher.
Well, he put the clamps on him, didn't he, down in Nelson?
Olsen kicks it out. Frank inside, looking for Boucher once again. Now, Frank passed up a three-pointer. He just hit one a moment ago. Got to the free throw line, passed up the jump shot. Instead, he went for the option underneath, and the ball was knocked out of bounds. Stars retained possession, but, hey, Jeff, he had 2 good looks.
They've had 2 good looks, and you can't give up good looks in a tight game like this. Oh, that was a lovely move by Lindsay Tate. Went straight to the basket and was able to draw contact. He initiated good contact there, and Coleman had no choice but fouled him.
Well, I think for a lot of players, you know, Lindsay's speed and size as a guard really, you know, trips them up. And there we see that time, Lindsay Tate took it and, you know, took on the American. Face to face on the inside there.
Yeah, this man, Tater Todd, is no Todd anymore. He's grown up. He's a premier player. In fact, voted a franchise player by the other players in the league.
Oh, and there's an offensive rebound by the Stars. Kicked out to Lindsay Tate for the 3. And once again, Bob, we've got a tight ball game, 80-all. 6 and a bit to go.
Well, the game has suddenly come alight as the Stars have roared back into it here. Scores locked, 6:15 to play, and Cooper having to handle the ball more and more out front. Coleman, marked by Aaron Olsen, who's a defensive specialist. Hokianga, reaching in by Boucher, almost forces another turnover. 1 second as Hokianga gets his shot up, but the shot clock expired.
You know what was good about that defensive play by the Stars? They pushed the Jets all the way. They were 4-5 feet away from the three-point line. And it's just unbelievable. Great defense by the Stars.
Certainly was. Now the Stars working at their end offensively. What can they do with it? Tate, marked, mismatch here. He's marked by Cooper, trying to go baseline, forced almost out of bounds. The turnover comes, and here's Stacey Lambert against Aaron Olsen, but he wisely gives it up. Inside, Pierce against Johnson. Little fadeaway jumper. He's got the 2.
Well, pretty soft defense there from the big fella. Kareem Johnson just letting Miles Pierce. Nice little 2-foot post move there.
Yeah, Kenny Stone
really
won't be happy. He won't be happy with that, too. So that was too easy backing Kareem Johnson down.
Seesaw battle here as Casey Frank gets his second three-pointer in a row. The man is hot.
And now the Stars have got a 1-point lead, Bob. I don't know if they've led this game, have they?
The Stars have, yes, they've had 2 leads, 1-point leads previously, and they've given them both up. And an offensive foul called, another turnover. So many turnovers, they're really starting to hurt the Jets now. 25 turnovers versus 15 for the Stars. Jets down by 1. Possession with the Stars. Aaron Olsen gives it back to Frank. 2 3-pointers in a row, dribbling the ball around. And he takes a travel out front. They just lost a little continuity there. One-on-one basketball at this stage, not the best.
Well, it's interesting. On Wednesday night, the Battle of the Bridge, the Stars didn't lead until 8 seconds to go in the ball game. So they came from behind. So it's not unusual, you know, for them to be in this position.
The comeback kids.
Coleman pushing off and gets a little step-back jumper. 18-footer, and he knocks it down, and the Jets back into a 1-point lead, 84-83. There's 4 minutes and 18 seconds left in the ball game. Well, we've got a barn burner here. The stadium is anything but a barn, I have to hasten to say, though. It's a magnificent venue at Waitakere.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful venue, and you know, New Zealand is really starting to get some nice venues around the country, Bob.
Oh, I'll agree with that. You know, that we were in Otago last week. That was a great little stadium, a good size. You know, this size stadium, I think, is the one they should be sort of trying to model it off. Not the big Westpac Trust Stadium. I think the smaller size for the basketball is a little better.
Yeah, I think you're right. At this stage in the development of the game in New Zealand. shot. The three-point attempt doesn't go down, and Boucher commits a foul on David Cooper. Cooper will be on the line. I think shooting the foul. No, it won't be. It'll be taken from the inbounded from the side. Just going to say that Cooper shoots free throws at 56%. That's not particularly good. Never mind, a possession with the Jets. 1-point lead to the Jets. Coleman gives it to Miles Pierce, who muscles his way up.
Oh, that was a good basket by Miles Pierce. He fumbled it first. You know, who was that? Michael Coleman gave him a nice pass inside. He bobbled it a little, but was able to finish strong.
He did, with 3:36 left in the game. The Stars have taken a timeout. They trail by 3 against the Jets, 86-83.
Got a rebound. Same ring.
Well, the Jets shooting is still hot, 59% and 50% threes. That's keeping them in the ball game in spite of this fact right here. 25 turnovers in a ball game. That's Darren Larson's worst nightmare.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. 25 turnovers, and they've kept the lead. It's just, you just don't fathom that sort of stat and being able to lead the whole game virtually.
Here's a man, Kareem Johnson, has played so well for the Stars. Kenny Stone, veteran coach, last year's championship winner, 55% from the floor on shooting for them and 16 turnovers. Really, if you look at those stats, you have to wonder, why is it that the Jets, this late in the game, still have a 3-point lead?
Well, I'm sort of picking that they're still adjusting to having someone like Aaron Olsen come back into the fray. You know, Glenn Joe played a large part of those sort of early games for the Stars, and I think they may be just adjusting to having Aaron back, and it might take them a game or so.
Yeah, I think that's a good point too, because the other thing is the Jets here have gone to a zone, and as we've seen before, the Stars are not quite proficient enough against the zone, and having said that, a lot of teams in this league struggle against the zone defense, Bob.
Yeah, you're right. Now, underneath here, Casey Frank gets the ball inside. Now, watch Cooper. He waits, then he goes up, and from behind, Miles Pierce gets a hand on the wrist, and as a result, Frank is shooting 2 free throws, but he misses the first. The 3-point lead remains.
Makes the second. 2-point ball game. The Stars down by 2. Coleman out front for the Jets.
Well, 3 minutes, 11 seconds to play. The Jets, 3 players on 3 fouls. The 2 big men still look pretty safe with so little time left to play. Boucher, the only player with 4 fouls in the game. Cooper in the lane, little jump shot, and Johnson gets a nice block on David Cooper.
Well, fantastic play there from the big fella. Held his ground.
Waited for Cooper to come in and blocked a nice shot.
2 things have happened. You've both pointed them out. Cooper is having to go way outside to get the ball. And Lambert has failed to score. He just hasn't been able to turn it up here in the second half.
Yeah, he's just scored the 2 points for his 22. He had 20 at the half.
Boucher marking him, double teamed on the baseline, and the ball goes out of bounds. Lambert trying to do too much with it.
Well, pressure defense really just telling the story in this last few minutes. The Stars have picked their defense up. They lead by 1.
And now we've got a timeout, rightly taken by Darren Larson of the Jets, as his team trails by 1 with 2 minutes and 20 seconds left to play in the ball game.
Out. I don't want you. Hey, listen. I don't want you in there. Get out. Don't run over towards the ball.
Well, the stats, Lindsay Tate for the Stars is really coming through his own in the second half. Lambert stuck on 22 points still. He had 20 at halftime.
Make sure you know which side. Okay, back in there. Get out.
Assists for the Jets, Coleman, Tate for the Stars.
Come on, let's go. Jets, 1, 2, 3. Let's cut over the top card compensate come out on Aaron. This guy first, and then you see him. Yeah. Go straight through. Sorry, seal that back screen, and then you're going to seal that back. That middle's wide open. Man or zone.
Well, it was interesting to me, Jeff, that Darren Lawson, the young coach, he's trying to keep his players calm. He doesn't want panic in their minds, and he says, we're still all right. He's trying to keep psychological control of his players and keep them calm. It's a moment of panic here, 2 minutes, 21 seconds to go, and he doesn't want them to blow it mentally.
Yeah, what I didn't like about that timeout for the Jets, Bob, was the fact that, you know, Darren Larson had his words set, and Miles Pearce challenged that. I didn't like that because, you know, Darren's a young coach, but Miles didn't need to challenge that because, as you say, they're not in trouble yet. They're only down 1. They've led most of this game.
That's right. Anybody's ball game. Tate, so quick on the dribble, a little step back, and he knocks it down. Chris Tupu, that is magnificent.
Well, he is Mr. Clutch. 7 points at the half. Tate now leads all scores with 23. He knows when to turn his game up to another level.
Well, and there you go.
26 turnover.
There's a turnover by Miles Pearce. It wasn't that man on screen, David Cooper. It was Miles Pearce. Now, that came straight from that timeout, Bob. We talked about it before. You know, Miles Pearce had a lot to say to Coach Darren Larson about what he should be doing. What he should be doing, Miles, is playing basketball, and, you know, now he gets a trip to the bench. And he's turned it over.
That's right. The Stars are in the driver's seat now. 1:42 and time running out here. They're sitting on a 3-point lead. They have possession. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Aaron Olsen gives a nice pass. Johnson, and he rams it home.
Well, that was a nice dunk by Kareem Johnson. He really did put that down with some authority. He really enjoyed that. But, gee, the Stars have really lifted their ball game in the last couple of minutes. 91-86. Minute and 30 to go, Bob.
Oh, indeed. Big trouble here for the Jets, who've led most of the ball game. Coleman, who's been so quiet, runs into Casey Frank. Ball's picked up on the baseline by Daryl June. Now, June, pretty good from the free throw line. 73%, in fact, has got to make both of these. They got to cut into this lead. 5 points at the moment, bring it back to a 3. 1 minute, 19 seconds, and on comes the three-point expert, Kent Morey, replacing Kane Hokianga.
But the thing about this, Bob, is all of a sudden we're talking about a 5-point ball game by the Stars. All of a sudden they snuck up on you, but it was the defensive effort, wasn't it? All this fourth quarter, the Stars' defense has really turned it up. And there's Daryl June's stat line, 3 fouls and 9 points.
Well, Daryl June keeps bugging them with a couple of free throws. A double team on the baseline, and Casey Frank gets it over halfway, straight to the hole, and he looks for Johnson. Good block from behind by Coleman. The ball's on the floor.
Oh,
we
that
got a
was
jump
good
ball.
hustle.
And which way is the arrow pointing? The arrow goes
Jets way.
To the Jets. Oh, that's a big, big play.
But that was great hustle by the Stars. The ball was on the ground, and it was like there was a rush evolving there. Two guys just jumped all over it.
I think it's a little more akin to a lolly scramble and a kindy. Coleman spins, puts it up, it's in the air. The touch just doesn't go, doesn't drop, and the ball is spiked out of bounds by Manawatu. 55.5 seconds to play. 3-point lead to the Stars. Stars in possession. Tate wants to chew up some time. There's 16 on the shot clock. Tate, corner, marked by Coleman. Tate doesn't want to give up the ball. Brings it all the way around for Aaron Olsen. Misses a shot. Coleman picks the ball off. Spin dribble at halfway. He's going to go to Morey, who, just trying to tie the ball game up. It just doesn't drop.
Well,
Jets
they've played so well, haven't they, Bob? They've played so well. The Jets have come so far. And to go down in a ball of flames. And I get back to, and I keep saying it, I get back to that last timeout where one guy wasn't focused. And it has really upset the rhythm of the Jets right now.
Let's go, one. Yes, and in spite of that, they've had their chances. Now there's 15.5 seconds to play. 3-point lead. Possession go with the Stars, and immediately the foul. No call. And this time there's a foul. Coleman reaching in on Tate, so Tate will go to the line this time. I do believe, let's just check.
No. First one, he didn't even go for the ball.
Scoreboard's blinking and flicking. I can't tell.
It's not my job to monitor that.
Well,
Darren Larson fouls up there. Should be 4 against each team. The lights keep blinking on and off.
Well, Coach Darren Larson having a very good little conversation with referee Peter Harrison. There he is, Darren Larson. He just asked the question. But I think Peter Harrison had the right response. Make your players go for the ball rather than try and attack a man like that.
That's right. Now, after the trip to the bench, referee Peter Harrison checks. Yes, that was the 5th team foul this period, so Lindsay Tate has to take the 2 free throws. He makes the first, and that extends the lead to 4, and you'd have to say it's pretty well nigh impossible for the Jets to win the ball game, especially if this one goes in, and it does.
I've got to agree with you, Bob. Nigh impossible.
Lambert, still hounded by Tate, goes all the way. He gets a 2, but it's
2 points too late. Stacey Lambert's only scored 4 for this half. There you go, Dylan Boucher with an exclamation mark on the Stars win. 95-90.
So, a heartbreaker for the Jets, and the Stars once again escaped in the 4th period. 2nd game in a row they've come back from the dead to win game number 5 for them in this season. 95-90 over the Heartbreak Kids, the Manawatu Jets. Pressure on his shoulders. He's been up to it the last couple of seasons, but occasionally does stumble, and Glenn Joe and probably Dylan Perfect Tate for the Stars have a big load on their shoulders, Jeff.
Well, they have a big load on their shoulders, easy to say, but there you see the beastie Mike Hommick hit his first jump shot of the game. The other thing people don't realise is George Liafa and Glenn Joe both played mini ball together in the Hutt Valley. They played high school basketball at 9 College together, and they played on with the Titans. So they know each other.
Well, a little half-court pressure coming from Ben Knight as Glenn Joe brought the ball over halfway. Boucher outside, going against the zone early on here. Glenn Joe penetrates, goes to the hoop, puts it on the glass. Perenaitai, the big youngster, number 21 for the Saints, gets the rebound, but the ball goes out of bounds. He got a good clean rebound, and just couldn't give it off to his point guard, George Liafa.
Yeah, there's a lot been said about Perenaitai, James, the young player from the Saints, number 21. Definitely a player of the future, but interesting to see them in the zone, Jeff, early on, the Saints.
Yeah, well, particularly with the fact that the Stars don't have a lot of shooters out there, the recognised shooters. I don't think there's a lot of them there, but having said that, what do we do? Mike Hommick knocks down his 2nd shot of the game.
Oh, very delicate shot from the Beast. A 3-pointer that time, and he's got 5.
Well, he's continuing the hot hand. On Wednesday night, I went and watched the game in Waikato, and Hommick top scored for the Auckland side. No Lindsay Tate, no Aaron Olsen. He filled it up, had 22 points on the night for the losing Stars.
McLean, little fake, has to give it up, and Ben Knight out around the 3-point line misses. Kareem Johnson starting for the Stars tonight. Both teams missing key players. Casey Frank with a badly sprained ankle, number 43, but he looks to be moving all right. Johnson from the side, and an offensive rebound goes to Boucher. And look at the Stars offensively.
Well, the Stars are really starting off hot, haven't they? 7-2 right now, and they had 2 offensive rebound opportunities. Interesting, the defense, though, too. The Stars playing a 3-2 zone at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, they've sort of tried a few zones throughout the TV games that we've seen, and they have looked pretty well, pretty good with those zone defenses. But without Lindsay and Aaron, that sort of, speed around the top of the key, I'm not so sure.
G.I. Joe from the side. Once again, an offensive board goes to the Stars, and Kareem Johnson misses an absolute sitter, gets another rebound. 2 offensive boards again, and they collect the points, and Dallas Pickering calls a foul.
Well, I suppose one of the things that the Saints are not doing, they're not rebounding. And as we see it here on the replay, you know, Kareem Johnson, there he goes, he misses the sitter. That was an absolute gimme. Ball fakes, the youngster gets up, fouls him, and it's an easy three-point play.
First substitution already, David Hopeboy into the lineup for the Saints, replacing James Perenaitai.
It's one of those fouls that James just got called for. You really want to hammer him and make sure he gets no attempt at, you know, don't be sort of over rough or overzealous, but you really don't want them to make that shot and give him a bonus.
Both teams playing zone early on. Lewis trying to penetrate, gets it inside to Hopeboy. Off the bench, and he gets his first 2 points off the first touch of the ball.
David Hopeboy struggled with a little bit of a leg injury the past couple of weeks. Good first touch for him.
Frank leading the power rankings in the league. That's a series of statistics and calculations that determine who's the top all-around player, and Casey Frank right at the top of the heap.
And I don't know why people do those sort of things, because, like, you know, it's a complicated formula. All you have to do is watch TV2 every Friday night to find out who the best players in the league are.
Oh, Jeff, in every sport, you got to have your number crunchers. There are people who believe in the numbers. If you can reduce human behavior to a number, that's so much the better.
Ben Knight just been called for a shuffle of the feet. Glenn Joe's really got to take that three-point shot. If he's given a look from beyond the arc, he's got to just pull it, no hesitation.
You're right, Chris. He's gone the baseline now, double teamed. Finally puts up a bad shot. Pass up a good look at a three to get something like that. It's just not good enough. And Leapa makes the second mistake. He's probably forcing it a little too far on the dribble. Stay outside, knock it around the outside of that zone.
Well, it's uncharacteristic, isn't it, for George Leapa to maybe turn the ball over as much as he has very early on. And that's not a good sign for the Saints, because then they reduce to their two shooting guards, Troy McLean and maybe Terence Lewis, having to take some of the point guard duties.
Well, McLean doesn't hesitate, and he knocks down a big three.
Out of Rongotai College in Wellington. Sorry, guys, I had to say that. But McLean, he's had a good start to the season, and he's been one of their leading lights shooting-wise.
Well, 10-7 the lead to the Stars. Boucher inside. Homick spins off the glass hard, and Boucher gets another rebound. Probably 8 offensive boards to the Stars already, and there it is.
And that's the three-pointer that Chris Tuber was just talking about a moment ago, that Glenn Joe has to nail that three-pointer, and he does come up with the goods.
Well, it was, you know, he knew he was going to shoot it, and that's the thing with a lot of Kiwi shooters, I reckon. By the time they catch the ball, he should be 50%, you know, already shooting the ball. And that time, Glenn Joe, no hesitation, just like Lewis.
Classic, absolute classic shot from Terence Lewis. 5,000 plus points in the league in a career that spans about 13 seasons, I believe. 10 seasons I got for Terence Lewis. Casey Frank from the three-point line. Misses the shot, but once again, Boucher keeps it alive, and Kareem Johnson gets the two. And
that's a second opportunity, isn't it, for a three-point play, Kareem Johnson. But the Stars have been unbelievable on the offensive glass. And you just, here we go here. You know, Ben Knight didn't quite get the rebound. Dylan Boucher fought with him. Dave Hopeboy didn't box out. They had no option but to foul Kareem Johnson.
Well, it just shows you the value of Dylan Boucher. He's worth his weight in gold. He is always hunting the ball, offensively or defensively. Kept the ball alive. It ended up in Johnson's hands. He was fouled as he went up. This time he dropped it in, and now he completes a three-point play. 16-10 with 5:12 to go in the first period. Stars. Little break on the Saints here. Saints have not performed well on the road. 0-3 this season. Ben Knight, little jump shot. Oh, and the tip from Icanazio, number 7 in the game now for the Saints, just fails to knock it down. Boucher, good feed inside, back to Boucher. The ball's loose, and the Saints almost lost it to Boucher once again, but Boucher just couldn't find somebody to throw it to.
Like a thief in the night, as usual, Dylan Boucher. Now, he's everywhere all the time. You've just got to be very careful on the basketball court when he's on. Sometimes you probably try and get it from the bench court.
Well, he's either the Robin Hood or the Ned Kelly of the NBL. Kareem Johnson brings down the ball. 16-10 lead, long pass ahead, and Frank Manages to save it from going out of bounds. Homick has already got 5 points in the game, gives it up. Saints have gone to a man-to-man defense. Hopefully against Homick. Oh, and Johnson misses the big putback.
Well, he may have been easier just to bring that rebound down with 2 hands and maybe take it up. He's really annoyed with himself as we see Ben Knight coming down and throwing the ball to no one. But once again, Dylan Boucher was in there.
A couple of sloppy plays from the Saints team. Mike McHugh won't be happy with that. Turnovers.
Johnson double team, forces it up, and again a weak side board to Casey Frank. He manages to get it up, and once again Boucher comes up with the ball into Frank. Left-hander hook shot, drills it.
Well, that's a real nice play, isn't it, by the Stars. They've been at everything on the offensive glass, and I just don't understand the Saints being in a zone right now, because, like, you know, the Stars don't have the shooters out on the court. But having said that, you play a zone so you can get good rebounding position, and they're not getting any rebounds.
They're just being out-hustled with capital letters. That's it, just pure and simple. And Homick sets himself for a 3. That's 2 in a row for the big guy. Oh.
Well, you got to like it, guys. You know, sometimes with players that you know, hog the ball, not hog the ball, but have a lot of the ball, like Lindsay, Tate, Aaron Olsen. All of a sudden, when those players disappear, all of a sudden you see, you know, people like Homick step up, 20-point games. Maybe he's on target for another 20-point game tonight. As we see Hopai just wheel and deal inside.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. Homick has made his first 2 3-pointers. He's shooting 25% from beyond the arc in a career that spans about 4 seasons.
But there you go. Those stats don't tell the real story, does it, Bob? The last couple of games, he's shot very well from the 3-point line. There we see Casey Frank yet again. Another easy basket for the Stars inside against the Saints defense. Mike McHugh will not be happy at all.
No, indeed not. McLean gets the ball right back, but he's left in a very, very awkward position to put up a shot. It was blocked. Leafa makes a steal. Gets it ahead to Hopeboy. 3-on-2. McLean drills it. Hey, that's good shooting. Chris Tupu, you got to admire that.
Yeah, again, we see a player not hesitating. Troy McLean knew he was going to shoot that before he got it. You know, his mindset was, I'm going to shoot this. I'm going to be open. I've made a shot here before. It's in my range. Bingo. Away he goes.
And we all know that Troy McLean can shoot the basketball. It's just sometimes I don't think he has that mentality, like you're saying, Toots. He's got to just get it and shoot it, because, like, he is a great shooter. But both coaches, you know, one that's up 8 points and with Kenny Stone, but he's off his chair yelling instructions. He must be happy, but Mike McHugh down the other end, he's walking up and down, he's pacing that sideline, very unhappy.
Well, McHugh has got to change the complexion of the game. He's got to change the tempo. He's got to do something to get his players into the game.
And there he is. He wants a timeout. And exactly what we talked about. You know, he needs to get something happening differently. And I believe it may be a man-to-man defense rather than a zone defense book.
And maybe some switches on defense. 1:49 to play in the first period. The Stars already with an 8-point lead, 23-15 over the Wellington Saints. And here's Coach Mike McHugh.
That's a D-ball. Okay? You got outside on that.
Hey, let me get a two.
Remember, what's that?
Mike. You know what? You're so close. It's just those blockouts at the end. Very close.
Make people foul you when you go to the hole. None of this, you know, attract the contact. We need to get them in foul trouble. You've got to go at people, all right? Don't be afraid of the block shot. Go up, get an arm, make sure you get the foul on. Run to the floor. They're not quick getting back. All right, chip away defensively. Get your blockouts. Right now, the blockouts.
2 good minutes of 44. We need some buckets.
Go. 24 in the miss. Hey, 1 minute 3.
Go to pick up.
Well, it's an interesting call, Jeff. He wants the players taking the ball inside and drawing contact so at least they can get free throws. And that's one way of upping the tempo of the game. Put a bit of physical intensity into it. And offensively, they think they can run the Stars. Interesting call.
It is an interesting call. The thing that I thought that was very interesting, 2 points there, Bob, that Ben Knight said, we've got to box out and get our own defensive rebound. And then Coach McHugh said, look, we've got to make sure that we draw this contact and get them in foul trouble. I think that's significant because he believes without those other 2 guys that are away with the breakers that perhaps they've got a chance.
Indeed, and here we go. The first offensive foul against Mike Homick.
John Southey just come into the Saints side in the last couple of weeks. Backup point guard for George Leafa. Good defensive charge there from John Southey.
Yes, Southey, a tough little character. He plays rugby league as well. Icanazio. Oh, good move to the hoop. Good pass underneath, and suddenly the Saints looking a little more positive on offense. They just didn't get the 2 points. 1:22 and counting down the first period, 23-15. Southey will go full speed for as long as he's on the court. Brings a lot of activity. Very robust little player. Number 20, as Chris pointed out just a moment ago. And Damien Icanazio, the singing guard.
There we go, Jonathan Southey.
Homick steps out and nothing but net.
Homick continues to stroke it.
Well, once again, offensive continuity fails, deserts the Saints. They didn't get a shot that time. And with 56 seconds left to play in the first period, they're staring at a 10-point deficit, 25-15. It's been all stars in the first period. Man-to-man being played by the Saints. Homick gets it inside to Kareem Johnson. It comes off a pick. Misses a shot, but Boucher once again gets his hand to the ball and knocks it into the hands of Homick.
And there you go, Mike Homick repaid the debt by getting a tip out. And, you know, that's what's kept the Stars in this game. They really have worked hard on the offensive glass.
Glenn Joe off the dribble, doesn't go down, and Hopewell finally clears the glass. Now Southey at point guard gives it ahead to Ben Knight. 11 seconds from the corner. Terrence Lewis has got it.
Yeah,
that's a big shot.
You don't want to leave Terrence Lewis open. You know, he's been in this league, as you say, 10 years, and you know that's money for that man from way up there.
He loves those corners. Loves those corners.
At the buzzer, misses a shot. It
is a handy lead for the Auckland Stars, and they're really in control at the moment. The Saints, again, they just sort of stop-start. I think it's the way the season's gone for them, but sooner or later they've got to start stringing together good periods of play. I talked to Mike McHugh before the game, and he said we've played well in patches, and that's about the size of it, you know.
Yeah, they've had a couple of good games, but they have struggled. The chemistry that they had a couple of years ago, just lacking. But with players like Ben Knight, and when Polly Blake gets back, we understand he's on his way back from Europe, the Saints could be very, very tough in the second half of the season, but really they need a win tonight.
Yeah, they are going to be tough, but the key is that chemistry we talk about, Bob, and for the viewers at home, they've just got to understand that, like, you know, you can't just bring in a star player and they fit in with the other guys, and because they've been playing overseas and other teams and other systems, it takes a while.
It does indeed. Icanazio, cross-court pass, Southey into the corner. Now Ben Knight has been forced out high. He normally very, very good, dangerous inside pass from Icanazio, and Hopewell misses the shot. But an offensive board goes the Saints' way, and Knight this time knocks it down, and it's a three.
Yeah, and that's an easy three for Ben Knight. He was wide open, had a good look at it, and you know, all of a sudden the Saints are back within 4.
Indeed, it only takes a three-pointer, and suddenly it's a different look to the game. Early moments here in the second period. The Stars controlled the first period pretty comprehensively. Reese Cassidy into the lane, backing in against Hopewell. Has the ball knocked out of his hands. Good defensive move by Ben Knight to save it. Hopewell all the way to the hoop.
Oh, big Dave Hopewell. And all of a sudden, he says to Casey Frank, I know that you have highlight films in this league, but gee, here's one of mine back at you.
Well, David Hopewell, eh? He goes to the rack strong. Excellent play. He's always been an athlete, David Hopewell.
Here we go. We see it here on the replay. Dribbles the length of the court. The left hand goes up, and Casey went up to try and block it as well. Good poster.
In Casey Frank's house as well. Well, he answers with a tray from the corner, does Casey Frank. He'll let that simmer. I'm sure we'll see Casey Frank try and explode to the basket for a dunk.
Well, they gave him 2 points on that shot. It looked like a three from here, from our angle, but he must have had a foot on the line as he went up for it. Little fake from Lewis inside. Hopeful once again. Ah, he's a very active player, David Hopeful, always moving under the basket, always gets his fair share of layups.
Training to be a chef, David Hopeful, down in Wellington. As we see Cassidy drop a bomb from the top of the keyhole.
Southey brings the ball up very quickly. He's been in the game the last 4 or 5 minutes, relieving starter George Liafa. Ben Knight misses a shot. Interesting, Knight seldom posts up low.
Well, in the Australian League, he's more of a small forward than a power forward. In the New Zealand League, he plays sort of power forward centre, so that's why you don't see him post up, because, you know, his game is really in and around the three-point line.
Yep, you're right. And Reese Cassidy knocks it down. And he just signals to the bench to make sure it was a three. 33-25, the Stars back in control. It was a 4-point game, and suddenly it's 8. And underneath, Hopeful, ever active, draws a foul out of Casey Frank. You can see the result on Casey's face.
Well, it certainly was. And once again, here we go. Ball from the high post, high action there. Dave Hopeful goes in. Casey Frank puts his hands up in the air, and all of a sudden the referees say that was a foul. They were a lot closer than we were. However, David Hallpies listened to his coach. Coach McHugh said to him, we need to try and draw some contact. We need to get some fouls against these Stars. And he's been able to do that the last couple of plays.
Hopeful on the line.
Out of Nainai College in Wellington, I believe. Played with George Liafa and Glenn Joe.
Yep. Won a couple of titles with the Waikato Titans. Was the captain there 1 year.
He's traveled around the league a bit. Hopeful has done a great job. And now full court pressure coming in the Saints. 7:22 to play in the first half. Full court press. Will the Stars be able to handle it? They're missing, remember, they're missing their 2 shooting guards, Lindsay Tate and Aaron Olsen, who are away with the Breakers in China. And they get it up very easily, no problem. And there's 11 seconds on the shot clock. Boucher fakes the three-pointer and goes to the hoop, knocks it back out, and Frank will have a...
That's good basketball by the Stars. They handled the full court pressure pretty easily, and all of a sudden, you know, penetrate and kick. That's exactly what Dylan Boucher did, and Casey Frank was able to convert the three-point play.
Good pass ahead. Joe gives it to Reese Cassidy, and they finish it off. They punish the Saints there on a turnover. 38-26, the lead suddenly out to 12, and George Liafa back in the game for the Saints.
Far too many unforced turnovers from the Saints side. Damien Iconicio with a nice little baseline jumper. He's filled it up in a few games this year, Jeff. He's scored a few points.
Yeah, he has, and you know, in past years, Damien has been a little erratic, and I see his game has really improved in the last, particularly this year, has done a really good job, and from what I'm hearing out of the Saints camp, they're real happy with his performance.
Ben Knight manages to get it over halfway. He had a lot of attention, brought it over halfway. Foul was called. Probably didn't really relish the role of point guard there, but he managed to get over halfway. And he'll be shooting a couple of free throws.
Pretty confident player, Ben Knight. He'll back himself on the dribble.
Now the ball will be taken out of bounds. Not a shooting situation yet. Knight subbed off. Peronaitai back in the game for the Saints. There he is, number 21, a big body, young body. He's going for the hoop and going to be called for step. Little hop, skip, and a jump.
Well, the youngster, you know, he looks the goods in terms of, you know, he's got the big body. He's just got to learn to control it, as he showed in that last move to the basket.
And he's keen to go to the hoop with it. Frank inside. Homick, who started the game so well, spins off Peronaitai, and he misses a shot. McLean. Oh, sorry, at number 15.
Well, here we go with the Stars playing a bit of man-to-man defense now. They've come out of that zone, as have the Saints. Bit of strategy going on here from both teams.
Nice move to the hoop by Tahuna. Misses a shot. And stepped out of bounds with the ball, so the Saints fail to get the 2 points. They turn the ball over. 38-29. Still an 9-point lead with 5 minutes, 15 seconds to play. The Stars still in control. Into the corner, Boucher. Cross-court pass. Cassidy will bring it out. Casey Frank misses a shot. Shooting falling off a little bit here for the Stars. Long pass ahead. Terrence Lewis gets it under to Taranaitai, and he gets the 2 points.
Well, they've looked a bit sloppy getting back at times, the Auckland Stars. That time they paid the price. And, you know, even Mike McHugh in his first time out, he said they're not quick at getting back, and I think he's right on the money with that one.
That's what a coach is for. 38-31. Reese Cassidy going to be fouled by Taranaitai, I believe. Number 21 picks up the foul. First team foul in the second quarter against the Saints. Now we got a time taken by the Stars. 4:35 to play in the first half, and the Stars leading 38. The Saints off 31. Stars ball game, but the Saints just doing enough to stay within shouting distance here and not looking too bad.
As you say, Bob, you know, a minute and a half ago they were down 14. They're now down 7 points, and they just sort of keep themselves in it, don't they? 10 turnovers there on screen. You're probably not going to be too happy with that if you're Mike McHugh. The fact they're only 7 down and they're playing an under-strength Auckland team, I think they'll be pretty happy.
I think so too. Top scorers there for the Stars. Mike Homix had a great first half, and David Hopeboy has done everything that's been asked of him in the first half, leading with 10. Assist, Boucher on 4. Lewis, the do-everything man for the Saints, with 3. And rebounding, Johnson, great start for the Stars with 7. Ben Knight, 3. You'd expect a little bit more out of your big man, your premier Aussie big man. Long way to go, however. Boucher inbounding the ball. Underneath, Homick backs in. Little jump shot over Taranaitai. And good boxing off. That's been a feature of the last few minutes, I think, Jeff. The boxing off from the Saints has been much, much improved.
Well, Mike McHugh asked for that, didn't he? That they, you know, secure their own defensive rebounds. They've been able to do that, and consequently they've been able to get good possessions. And there you go. There's another possession that's very good for the Saints. And Mike McHugh is a bit happier there. A little bit of a wry smile there with that three-pointer from Terrence Lewis.
It's a nice shot. Casey Frank misses an easy sitter, and he looks to the referee. He thought he got bumped on that one. Liapa goes down the lane looking for the foul. There was no whistle, and the Stars come away with it. Number 15 in the game, Stan Bedoy for the Stars, playing point guard. Boucher, between the legs pass, goes straight to Terrence Lewis. 2-on-1 fast break. McLean.
Well, they bumbled that one, didn't they? I mean, 2-on-1, keep it wide, quick pass, ball fakes are really good. That time there, they're just getting caught up making too many passes.
It certainly wasn't a good textbook 2-on-1 fast break that you practiced for hours to.
Well, that's right, and McLean just kind of overplaying it there, got caught on the baseline, had the ball taken away from him, and turnovers goes now to about 12, I think, against the Saints from outside. Homick throws a brick. It's off the glass and a collision at midcourt. Who's a foul going to be called on? Charging foul called against number 15, Matt Tehuna of the Saints.
Well, that's a young player that just isn't aware court-wise. And Matt Tehuna had no idea that you know, someone like the Beastie could step in and take an offensive charge like that. So that's a young player, and the referee's telling him, you know, you got to give him a good distance, and he just didn't do that. And he buys himself a trip to the bench for his sins.
Well, I guess when it happens, you do have the satisfaction of knocking the opposition to the court. And Homick's a big man to knock down.
I was just going to say, Bob, you know, I don't know if you'd want to knock down Homick too often, because he may bounce back at you.
Better him than yourself, though, Jeff. You bounce off it.
Absolutely.
38-34, 4-point spread. 3 minutes to go in the first half. The Saints just creeping back into the ball game. Boucher looking underneath. to Casey Frank underneath. Reese Cassidy, nice move, but he just couldn't put the ball in the hole. And Taranaitai gets the rebound, and Boucher fouls him.
He's got his hands straight up, Casey. There's no foul there. Well, that's an interesting one because, like Dylan Boucher, as he always does, is in the action, and they pinged him, but
they've been letting them play, though.
They have been letting them play. The referees have done a good job tonight.
Leapa back in the game.
Leapa to Terrence Lewis. Goes baseline. Little jump shot. Doesn't fall. Homick with the rebound. Now he's playing point guard. Gives it up to Glenn Joe. Long pass ahead. Boucher. Pass cross court. Cassidy into Frank. Bumps his way to the basket. Makes a nice jumping hook shot.
That's a very good move. You know, Casey Frank drew 2 bumps there before he put the basket up.
Taranaitai at the other end just missed one, and Terrence Lewis gets the ball and just little finger rolling in.
A bit of a fortuitous bounce for the Saints there, but there we go. Missed the highlight. We knew it wasn't going to take long to.
Well, he's got a good memory, and Casey Frank. This is his house. Not too many plays back. He was dunked on himself. This time, Casey Frank comes back with an exclamation mark.
Gets the ball at the free throw line. One bounce, one dribble, boom. And remember a couple of weeks ago, he did get a nice one at the end of the game. He said in his interview, did you see that, Miles Pierce? Remember that?
Oh, indeed. Frankly, Mr. Green, I'd give it to Frank anytime.
Oh, absolutely.
Big jumper. 42, 36, 152, and Ben Knight gets a couple.
Well, that was too easy. The zone defense coming from the Stars. Ben Knight straight down the gut.
It's a tough game. 4 points. The Stars have been in control the whole way, but the Saints in with a real chance here. Casey Frank left all alone, misses a three-pointer, and here we go, a 4-on-3 fast break. Hopeboy puts it on the glass. He's fouled and drops in. Lady Luck smiles on him, and one.
Gee, he threw that off the glass. That was so high off the glass from something. I thought it had snow on it as it came down. Here we go on the replay. George Leapa to his good college mate, Dave Hawkboy. And look how high off the glass. And his other college mate, Glenn Joe, fouls him. Great control, David Hawkboy.
Yeah, Hawkboy's having a great game here. Casey Frank out front, cross-court pass into the corner, double-teamed is Glenn Joe. He's got to get it out. Ball's knocked out of his hands. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Ben Knight was smiling. He was trying to convince the ref that it went off Joe. 1 minute, 13 seconds. 1-point ball game. Frank has to give it up. Oh, Boucher misses a nice little shot underneath, but he gets his own rebound again. Once again, probably overpassing. Trying to thread the needle just a little too finely, Jeff.
Yeah, absolutely. And what you got to do, Dylan, shoot the basketball. You've done all the hard work. You've done all the defense. You know, you've got yourself an offensive rebound. Reward yourself and make a layup.
You give yourself a treat, have dessert. Into the last minute of play in the first half, 42-41. Saints could take the lead on this shot. First time in the ball game, but McLean misses it, but Terrence Lewis just takes it away from Kareem Johnson, so the Saints get another try. Time ticking away. We're down to 42 seconds. Nice little pass. McLean reverse layup.
That was beautiful basketball there from the Saints, and they deserve to have this 1-point lead. They've really stuck at it, as Mike McHugh has said to them. Stick at it.
Now there's Boucher. He gets a nice pass coming down the lane off the glass, and it's in. 44-33. Stars by 1. Leapa gives it to Hopeboy. Hopeboy hard off the glass, and Casey Frank running. Gives it up to Boucher. Pass is knocked out of bounds. Now there's 13 seconds to play in the first half, and the Stars have possession, and they've got a 1-point lead. Now they can just give themselves a little bit of a cushion here before halftime, Jeff.
Well, it's been very interesting that the Saints were told by Mike McHugh, their first time out, let's just chip away at this lead, chip away. We will get it. And that's exactly what they've done. And what does Dave do? What were you thinking, Dave, when you fouled there with 5 seconds to go? There was no need to do that, young Dave.
No, there wasn't. Glenn Joe had nowhere to go. Hopeboy only needed to stay with him. But they had a foul to give up, so the Stars will inbound the ball. There's 5.4 seconds, still enough time to get a good look. One last shot here before halftime. Glenn Joe dribbling around the top. Little fake, he slips, the ball's on the floor. Hopeboy picks it up, and that'll end. A rather sloppy but interesting first half as the Stars clinging to a 1-point lead over the Saints. It's 44-43. We'll be 6:15 to play in the third period.
Well, here's something interesting, Bob. The Stars are on 14 fouls right now with 6 minutes to go. So the Saints have ground away at the Stars defense, and they've been able to get them in foul trouble as Mike McHugh asked them to do.
Oh, nice feed from Ben Knight up top. Hits Ekenazi on the baseline, and the singing guard took it to the hole and got fouled.
The thing I like about that play from the Saints, it was good ball movement. And anytime you're playing against the zone, you've got to have these things. Good ball movement, spread it around. Damien didn't put the ball to the floor. Nice big step when he caught it. Went straight to the rack. Excellent stuff.
And I said it before to young Damien Ekenazi, you know, previously, there he is on screen, previously he would have bounced the ball, as you say. But, you know, he's learned his trade in this league, and he's starting to become a very good basketball player.
Well, he's always had the quickness, the speed, and perhaps he's developing a shot to go along with it. He makes the 2 free throws. He's got a career average of only 55% from the stripe, but he made those 2 and looked pretty comfortable doing it. Oh, when he gets down and hammers Homick.
Well, that's the sort of foul I was talking about in the first half. You know, if you're going to foul somebody going to the hole, make sure they have no chance that they'll make the basket.
Well, there's going to be no chance here. Here's Mike Homick. He goes nice and strong. And, gee, I thought Ekenazi was on a ladder there. He got up so high and absolutely hammered the beast.
Well, he's an athlete. There's not many of us left, Jeff.
Oh, yes.
There's no answer to that, Bob. No answer.
No. We all agree. We all agree. No two ways about it as Homick makes the first free throw. He'd probably be a little surprised that guard Damien Ekenazi was that high and waiting for him as he came around the bend, hammered him.
He's got some hops.
He does indeed. Well, Homick makes 1 of 2, 53-49, 4-point spread, 5 minutes, 50 seconds to play in the third period.
You got to take that shot, George. You got to take that shot.
He's a little gun shy.
Step in and shoot that shot.
Ekenazi working on the baseline, and Casey Frank just rejected that shot.
Well, he not only rejected it, he took it away. He absolutely just grabbed it out of midair and says, give it here.
And pushed it right back down on top of Ekenazi, who almost fell under the pressure of that falling sky. 53-49. Just checking with the bench here.
They're just waiting to see if the shot clock should have been reset or that the 24 seconds may have run out.
I can't see from here.
I don't know. Check with here we go on the replay here. Ekenazi, Casey Frank not only pinned it to the glass, he also took it away.
Oh, that's a big block. And they're just sorting out whether the shot clock should have been reset. The referee hasn't seen the play. I don't think there's any way they can do anything with it. Dallas Pickering goes over to talk with Peter Harrison.
Go 4. Yeah, no, we're working out how long to go. We'll wait now, hasn't hit the hit. You guys say 1, they say 10.
Well, there's 20 seconds on the shot clock now. And I don't think they're going to...
I think they're going to take it down to 4 seconds left on the shot clock.
They are, and now we just wait till it runs down. It's going down now. They'll restart play. There'll be 4 seconds on the shot clock. George Liafa will inbound the ball for the Saints, so 1 pass, maybe 2, and a quick shot. Ben Knight. Bounce, goes to the hoop. Good feed to Hopeboy, but just couldn't get it up. There's a great little feed. Took half a second too long.
It was way too long. Maybe Ben Knight should have pulled up for a jump shot rather than take that 1 little extra dribble.
That was good defense from the Stars. They forced Knight to keep the ball on the floor and take it that extra step, which chewed up the final second. Good half-court pressure now coming from the Saints. Cassidy, Kareem Johnson, back to Casey Frank, spins. And he loses the ball in a travel. Good defense this time from the Saints.
Yeah, good job by George Liafa. Just getting in the way. It's always harder for a bigger player going up against a smaller player like that matchup just then. Casey Frank, you know, tried to do a bit of a move, but George held his ground, called for a shuffle.
Well, Casey Frank makes a nice steal and another turnover on a bad pass from the Saints. They give the ball straight back. Still a 4-point spread, anybody's ball game with just under 5 minutes to play in the third period. Cassidy finds Casey Frank, three-pointer, does not drop.
Well, they've stuck with it, haven't they, the Stars? They came out shooting the basketball from long range, and they haven't gone away from that game plan.
Well, here's a good substitution, I think, Chris Tupu, from Mike McHugh. Jonathan Southey, who sort of got the Saints started in the first half, is back in the ball, subbing Leofa. And he just brought so much energy to the team. And they get the ball back. Ben Knight working the baseline, kicks it out. Southey to Icanazio. Back to Knight. Saints really passing the ball around now, and finally Southey takes a shot, and Hopeboy gets a running putback. That was beautiful.
Well, Dave Hopeboy has really kept them in the game, hasn't he, too? So he did that in the second quarter, brought them back.
Well, he was nice and aggressive. That time, he you know, there was a few passes around, and people were throwing the ball up here and there, and all of a sudden, shot goes up, and he crashed the board. That's the way to do it.
Well, he gets such good elevation on his jump shot. Now, Kareem Johnson was pushed under the basket by Ben Knight. He missed the shot, but he was fouled as he went up. Pickering makes the call. 53-51, the lead now only 2 points again. And here we go.
Here we see Kareem Johnson just going baseline there and getting a whack by Ben Knight across the forehead. Unintentional.
Oh, they're all unintentional, aren't they, too?
Well, he was going for the ball. The ball just happened to be near his head.
Well, Ben Knight goes out, and he's spelled by the youngster James Parengatai.
Knight just with one foul in the game, so probably just getting a breather.
Johnson makes the free throw. 55-51. The lead back to 4. Counting down. 3 minutes, 40 seconds to play in the third period. Jonathan Southey pushing Glenn Joe off. There was no whistle. Could have been called for an offensive foul. Icanazio tumbles over Casey Frank. Now, Frank managed to get a call against Damon Icanazio on the drive, I think. The push-off from Icanazio as he drove.
Yeah, and here we see it on the replay. He's got the ball, dribbles to the... And, you know, that was good defense by Casey Frank, you've got to say. He stayed with a quicker guard, Damien Icanazio, all of a sudden got his seat nice and firmly set and drew the foul. Good work by the big man.
And now the Stars can extend their lead a bit. Glenn Joe from the three-point line. He misses it. Casey Frank couldn't hold the rebound, and Terrence Lewis stepped on the line as he tried to save the basketball.
Kareem Johnson getting the ball in the face. Another knock on the head there for the big fella.
Well, the Stars trying to solve the riddle of the zone defense here, and Glenn Joe is hounded by Jonathan Southey every time he gets the ball. Long pass underneath. Kareem Johnson goes up. Oh, Hopeboy just spikes that ball into the crowd, into the corporate boxes.
Well, big Dave Hopeboy, you know, we know he's got some hops. He's been around this league a long time, and he really got out there.
Do you like the jump on that man? Both teams playing zone. They're really putting pressure on the outside shooters. Southey goes inside, misses a shot, and the Stars get the rebound. 57-51. They lead by 6. They can increase their lead again here.
Well, Hommick, he's been a bit quiet in the second half. They've done a good job defensively on him, and I'm sure they talked about Hommick at halftime, the Saints side.
Well, I think Kenny Stone is doing a good job here. He's slowing the Saints down. When they've got to set up an offense, they really look out of sorts. They're trying to get the ball inside. They don't have a confident shooter from outside. McLean has been on the bench, and he's their best three-point shooter. Timeout taken with 2 minutes and 20 seconds to play in the third period, and the Stars sitting on a 6-point lead. It's 57, the Saints 51. So their lead shrank to 1 point at halftime, 44-43. And the Saints, try as they might, just can't seem to get the lead. But a little full court pressure here backfires.
Well, he loves those moments, doesn't he, Casey Frank?
What was Casey Frank thinking, trying to tear down the basketball hoop? That was awesome. Absolutely awesome.
And they say basketball's not a violent sport. He rattled the boards here.
Well, that's yet another clip for the highlight tape. I think we should have a Casey Frank highlight reel.
Well, Terrence Lewis misses a three, but the Saints get a rare offensive board. Ben Knight tries one. He misses again. And Reese Cassidy gets the board for the Stars, who, if they score now, look pretty much in control again, Jeff. They might have a 10-point lead.
Yeah, once again. But, you know, don't count the Saints out, because they've shown the ability to be able to chip away at the lead, that anything that the Stars put up.
Well, Kareem Johnson takes baseline. Nothing open, so he drills the 10-footer.
Well, he's just steady, isn't it? You wouldn't know he's got 18 points in the ballgame.
Absolutely.
Kareem Johnson. I mean, you know, he's one of those players that just sort of, you just take your eye off him. There he is, draining a little 12-footer.
Well, Jonathan Southey showing his quickness right there as he went to the basket. He went through a couple of players there on the way, and then got hammered by Valence.
Ghosted through the gap, as they say. Southey, the left-hander. Crucial time here for free throws. He makes the first.
Played with the Manawatu Jets last year.
He certainly did.
John Southey.
It's really interesting that, you know, he left the Jets to come down to the Saints.
Well, the Saints are shooting 7 of 7. That's 100% from the charity stripe. Liafa comes back in for Southey, who's done his job.
Yeah, I think he's done a great job as the backup point guard. You know, he was a starting point guard up at the Jets. Sometimes was a bit erratic, but he's shown here that, you know, he's a great, good point backup guard for George Liafa.
And he's played tough defense against Glenn Joe, giving him a few problems bringing the ball up the court, because the Stars are guard short right now. Lindsay Tate and Aaron Olsen are both away.
Oh, that was a lovely move, Bob, by Glenn Joe. Well, that shows how much of a value a big guard in terms of Glenn Joe. He's not one of your smaller point guards. And here we go here. He gets the nice backdoor from Casey Frank. Ball fakes. He's got a couple of big men around. Gets bumped. Still presence of mind to put the ball up. And it got a lovely little roll.
Yep, and you can see the look of anguish on Mike McHugh's face. So their three-point play gives the Stars an 11-point spread here. We're into the last minute of the third period, and things are looking a little bit desperate here for the Saints. McLean gives it up to Terrence Lewis. Knocks it. No, he misses it too. Haringatai misses a putback, and the Stars a chance to even go ahead further as Casey Frank makes a big jam.
Right on time, Toops.
Well, Terrence Lewis, he saw him coming, just sort of ducked under. He didn't want to be posterised like Miles Pierce was a couple of weeks ago. But yet again, there's another one for the highlight reel. Casey Frank getting it done.
We get a highlight reel every week from Casey Frank, don't we?
Oh, the basket's waved away. Reese Cassidy just went for the hoop. He went right over Terrence Lewis. He made the shot, but the referees waved away the 2 points, and it's called an offensive.
Well, here we go. This is going to be interesting. Here's Reese Cassidy going. Oh, and Terrence Lewis just came out of nowhere. He wasn't set, Toops. I just think that was a bad call.
I'd have to agree with you. Seeing that replay, having the, you know, benefit of the replay for us here in the commentary, as we see Ben Knight, nice feed inside to James Parangatai. He'll go to the line for a deuce.
Well, he is strong, isn't he, under the basket? He's been able to show that today. James Parangatai, he's been able to get the ball in position and using that wide body. He certainly does have a wide body, and he's been able to use it.
66-63. These are crucial free throws. The Saints have not missed a free throw in the game thus far. Now we got a halftime score for you. The Manawatu Jets leading the Nelson Giants 35-33, but that's at halftime. And at three-quarter time, Taranaki 80 over the Otago Nuggets 75. Anybody's ball game, both of those.
Well, that's a wooden spoon game at the moment, isn't it?
Oh, yes! Oh, Casey Frank knocks the ball out of Ben Knight's hands right at the buzzer, and that protects the Stars. 13-point lead with 10 minutes to play. It's 66-53.
I tell you what, if you're in the Waitakere area and the Stars are playing, come down and check these guys out. You know, Lindsay Tate, one of New Zealand's premier guards, he's not here tonight. He's away on breakers duties with Aaron Olsen. But without a doubt, Casey Frank has to be one of the best finishers in the Primo NBL that we've seen this year.
Oh, no doubts, no doubts. He can finish that close to the basket. He's got the hops to go with it. And, gee, he knows exactly what to do with it, Bob. It's great to watch. It's great for the fans. It's just brilliant.
It's exciting stuff. Well, Chris Tupu, you called it. You said the Saints really need a guard who's going to knock down the three-pointers consistently. And here we go to start the fourth period, Troy McLean.
That's what you got to do. In a zone, against a zone, you got to have an outside threat, a really good outside threat. Someone like Troy McLean that's going to fill it up. And then what you'll find is the inside will open up.
Well, Glenn Joe a little shaky getting the ball over halfway, double and triple teamed at one stage, but he manages it. Now there's 7 seconds on the shot clock. The Stars are going to have to look for something pretty quickly. Well, a bomb was thrown, and Terrence Lewis is bumped and pushed into the hoarding. The sign goes down. Lewis is down.
Valence Tiratana in for the Stars side. Subbed off at a couple of... what was it, 40 seconds?
40 seconds.
40 seconds in this fourth quarter. He did play a few minutes down in Waikato on Wednesday night, had 10 points.
Well, his contribution's been 40 seconds tonight. And another turnover, Bob, for the Saints.
Woeful play just when they need a bit of offense, a bit of structured offense, a chance to cut into the lead. The ball goes out of bounds without a shot being taken. Oh, Mike McHugh's going to have nightmares about this game. It has been scrappy, and still the Saints could get back into it, but Casey Frank.
And still the acrobatics from Casey Frank continue. Number 43.
And that's against the zone. That's unbelievable how easy the Stars have been able to get inside on this zone that the Saints are playing.
Well, McLean comes high, gets up a nice shot, but doesn't drop. Both teams shot 75%, 6 of 8 in the first half on threes. They're not doing that in the second half, and particularly the Saints. The Saints now 7 of 14 from threes. Kareem Johnson doesn't make it, and Boucher.
That was beautiful play. Dylan Boucher actually made that with the drive and kicked it back for Kareem Johnson.
He's just got such good vision, Dylan Boucher. Another turnover, unforced errors for the Saints. Just, you know, they can't afford to do that.
25 turnovers for the Saints.
Well, we've said it every game that we've commentated this year, Bob. Turnovers are killing teams. If you're listening and watching the commentary, understand you can't turn the basketball over that many times to expect to win.
No, that's right. Liafa gets a rebound. He wants to ignite the fast break, so he brings it up very quickly. Ben Knight underneath. He's fouled, pounded, puts up the shot. He's screaming for the foul. Meanwhile, the Stars are running. They get it right back. The Saints, that is, and Liafa bails out, back to Liafa, and he's got to put up the three, and he misses. Hopoi, ever-present David Hopoi.
But hasn't he done that all game long for the Saints? Dave Hopoi has been able to get on the offensive glass and get the easy ones.
He's been a garbage man. He's taking out the garbage, isn't he? It's garbage day up here for David Hopoi. He's just picking up all the loose ends and, you know, like a dog just scrapping his way through this game.
Well, now he's a dog and a garbage man.
I'll tell you, he's a very energetic garbage man. Once again, the Stars get the offensive board. They kick it back outside, and a chance to chew up some more time. Casey Frank, good jump shot, misses. McLean, long pass ahead to Hopoi, and it's stolen by Casey Frank, who's going to be called for a foul as he put a hand on Hopoi's shoulder and vaulted off him to get the ball. 6:39 to play in the game, and it's a 70-58 lead by the Stars.
And that's critical because, you know, Casey Frank now has 3 fouls. Dylan Boucher has 3 fouls. So both of them now in foul trouble. That's going to be crucial No, Kenny Stone's taken him out, taken Casey out, so he'll get a bit of a rest.
Ben Knight has the ball raked out of his hands.
Wasn't that funny to see Ben Knight look at his hands and look over to the referee and say, I've still got an arm, but half of it's been hacked away.
He's looking to see if blood was drawn. Kareem Johnson misses a shot. Knight gets the rebound. And the Saints have got a score here. McLean goes to the hoop, but he gets a nice running two-pointer.
Well, he's getting better at finishing in the open court, is Troy McLean. We know he's got his outside shot. Just adding another string to his bow there. Good finish.
10-point deficit. Glenn Joe, under all sorts of pressure, gets it off to Boucher, and they're over halfway. Saints pressure almost causing a turnover here. 10-point spread, 5:44 to play.
And I don't know what G.I. Joe was thinking there when he shot that, but that certainly is not a shot that Kenny Stone will be happy about. And there they go. He's explaining to his teammates what the brain explosion was.
Yeah, well, 5:45, it's anybody's ball game. Even though the Stars are sitting on a 10-point lead, the last couple of possessions have not been handled well by either team, and that's why I say it's still anybody's game.
And here we go with this. There, Glenn Joe standing around, everyone else is standing around, puts it through his legs, and all of a sudden the brain gets into gear and says, why didn't I shoot that and miss everything? G.I. Joe, what were you thinking, Glenn?
Well, he had a look, probably looked up at the shot clock. There wasn't much time left, probably time for another pass. But here's Kenny Stone, coach of the Stars.
Yeah. Go down and run green.
Yeah. Green.
Okay.
Well, what do you go first?
We're in 10 defense right now.
Run green 2 for homing. Green 2.
Okay.
We got to get back in transition, guys. Get back. Let's make smart plays now. Smart plays. Don't be stupid.
10 on defense. Hey, everybody get on the board. Let's go.
Well, Jeff, you got to say, with 5:45 to go, I think whichever team comes out and really begins to fire, if one of them can, might take this ball game, because both of them are making far too many mistakes.
You know what I would do if I was the Stars? I'd take the ball, no disrespect to Glenn Joe, I'd take it out of his hands, because he's got George Liafa all over him like a rash, and I'd give it to someone like a Reese Cassidy or a Dylan Boucher to bring it up, just to give a different look to the Saints defense.
Yeah.
And close up shot.
I think you're right. They've got to get it over halfway a little more easily now. Good move, penetration from McLean. He gets the 2.
Zone defenses, how you attack them with penetration, with the ball, without the ball, and with good outside and inside action. That time, McLean getting it done off the dribble, good penetration.
Well, the Saints lineup now, a lot of activity there. Hopeboy, Ekanazio, Liafa, McLean. They've got a small team, a very active team. Nice pass inside. Homick's shot is blocked by Ben Knight.
Well, that's the play that Kenny Stone wanted them to run. Inside to Homick.
You're right, Ben.
They're calling that a block, I think.
Oh, no, they're calling a 24-second shot.
Oh, okay.
Surely not. Here we go. This is a nice pick and roll. Down low, we see in the background the shot clock to expire.
Good call. Knight got the ball on the way up, even if there had been enough time on the shot clock. So here's a chance for the Saints to cut the lead to 6, possibly 5, and Liafa gives it away. That's turnover number 27, but he gets it right back and gives it up to Reese Cassidy.
It's a comedy of errors. It's a comedy of errors, and like, you know, you just brain explosions, Bob. What are some of these people thinking? You know, George Liafa, a premier point guard in this league, now has bought himself a trip to the bench because of those 2 crucial turnovers, and Reese Cassidy tried to give it back to him.
Yeah, I think Liafa's lost a lot of confidence with the ball. You can see him there. He's a bit mystified by his form as well. But Jonathan Southey, number 20, back in the ball game at point guard for them. He played a very good role in the first half, getting the Saints back into the ball game. A 1-point spread at halftime, and it blew out to a 13-point lead to the Stars at the end of 3 periods of play, as the Saints only managed 10 points in the 3rd period.
That's pitiful. 10 points from any team in any quarter. That is just, you know, I think it might be, I don't think it's the really good defense. I think it's a lack of attack on offence.
And it's all those turnovers. It's all those turnovers that the Saints have committed.
And another foul this time. It's going to be on
Green
number
Johnson.
42, Johnson.
He's lost the letter on his back of his shirt. Here we go. Ben Knight penetrates inside Ekanasio. We know that he can get the ball into holes like that. And Kareem Johnson had no choice but to foul him.
That was a good foul because Ekanasio is not the best free throw shooter. He's made 3 in a row tonight to make a liar out of me. But over a 4-year career, I think it is, he's shooting only 55%. Well, 4 in a row for Ekanasio.
Well,
singing guard.
He certainly made a liar out of those stats.
Pressure coming here from the Saints.
But it's not the same pressure without George Liafa on the court. And you see how easy Glenn Joe was able to get the ball up the court.
Okay, the Stars protecting a 71-64 lead. 4 minutes to play. In the corner, Casey Frank with a 3-pointer. Misses it. The ball knocked out of bounds by the Stars. So the Saints now a chance to make a game of it once again.
Well, it's more of a case the Stars letting the Saints back in the game rather than the Saints clawing their way back into the game at the moment.
Well, you're probably right, but there's David Hopeboy, makes a bit of room for himself and just misses the sitter. He got a good look at it, ball bounced out. Glenn Joe, the foul is going to be against Damian Ekanasio. He's trying to suck an offensive foul out of Glenn Joe, but not to be.
Yeah, and here we see on the replay tubes, Glenn Joe saw that. Ekanasio thought, well, yeah, he did a sidestep, a couple of shuffles sideways.
He thought he was on the idle, you know, he's doing a dance move and stuff. Just a little shuffle, that was all it was. You've got to have your feet set when you draw a charge.
To the Stars with the ball. That foul reset the shot clock, so plenty of time here to move it around. Glenn Joe from the top of the key misses it. Homick got his hand to it, but Ben Knight comes away with it. Ekanasio goes to the hoop, and he misses the layup, and he's calling for the foul. He thought he was tunneled. Casey Frank. Good pass, but Homick couldn't put it down. The ball's on the floor, and G.I. Joe just couldn't get a handle on it.
I'll tell you what.
Helter-skelter.
It's starting to get ugly. Yeah, both teams are really struggling in terms of their position in the game, and they just haven't found the right rhythm, haven't they? Like, even though the Stars have had big leads, they're leads that you're sort of not confident with, are you, Bob?
Well, that's right, Jeff. 3 possessions each. Neither team has scored. The score remains 71-64, and the Saints another chance to cut into the lead here, and that would be a big help for them. Troy McLean from out beyond the 3-point line misses it, and Ben Knight trying to keep it alive, but the Stars get the defensive board.
And who got it? Dylan Boucher. He's been everywhere rebounding tonight.
Oh, they've got an 8-second call here. Failed. Auckland failed to advance the ball over halfway in under in 8 seconds.
Well, that's another turnover. That's just casual play from the Stars. They should have gotten it over halfway. Southey with the left-hand shot. He gets it, and that's the first point scored in 4 possessions each. 71-66. Stars almost lose possession again, and Glenn Joe is hacked. He got into a double team, and Southey's going to be called for the foul.
Yeah, a couple of times that Glenn's been able to get the ball down the sideline, and then all of a sudden, you know, the Saints have been able to trap him. That's happened a couple of times this game.
Okay, total turnovers for the game. 51 turnovers.
Oh, woeful.
And most coaches, Jeff, would be looking for 12, you know, maybe maximum, yeah?
Absolutely. And we talk about it every week, don't we, on the commentary? Every week. Cut your turnovers down and you're going to be in a basketball game. And that's why the Stars haven't been able to get away with a commanding lead, because they keep turning it over.
Well, that's right. Now, that's 5 possessions the Stars have not scored. That time Boucher dribbled out of bounds. Southey, the left-hander from the 3-point line, misses it, and Homick gets the rebound. Terrible offense from both teams, but still the Saints in with a chance. Homick takes a pass from Casey Frank and knocks it down.
That was the beastie. That was huge. Mike Hommick running the floor as a centre and able to finish like that. That was a great finish.
Terrence Lewis misses a three-point shot. 1 minute 45 seconds to go, and I think that dunk from Hommick might have sealed the game for the Stars. They now lead by 7 points, 73-66. It depends on what happens with this possession.
The Saints are trying to win the game from the three-point line, Bob, right now, rather than do what Coach McHugh said early on. Let's just chip away at this lead.
And we've got an offensive charge. Boucher can't believe it. He made a great pass. He picks up his 4th foul. More importantly, it gives the ball over to the Saints.
Well, let's have a look at this. Dylan Boucher, oh, that is like, I can't say any more, Bob. The referees really need to understand what the charging rule's all about, and they've called 2, I believe, shockers.
Well, Terrence Lewis frees up a little space for himself. Look at Ben Knight. He comes flying in from the left side. Gets a beautiful tip in, 73-68. 1 minute 15 seconds, and the foul by Troy McLean on Mike Hommick puts pressure on Hommick to make the free throws. And the Stars are protecting a 5-point lead. There's a minute 14, plenty of time, Jeff.
Plenty of time, and that's what I said before. The Saints don't need to shoot their way to win the game from three-point land. You know, sure, you want Terrence Lewis shooting three-pointers, but you don't need Jonathan Southey shooting three-pointers. And they've been able to do it by just good defense.
Well, we'll get down to the Saints bench with a timeout taken by the Saints. 1 minute 14 seconds to play. The Stars sitting on a 5-point lead, 73-68. Here's Coach Mike McHugh.
Yeah, everyone. We got a foul, Homie. All right, we got a foul, Homie. We need another foul.
First. How about everybody face guard? Leave the inbounder. Everybody face guard. I'll get deep. All right, and just see what we can get.
We can't get a steal off.
We've got to get one. Yeah. Foul, yeah. All right. We'll give it 5 seconds. If you don't double, you give it up, you have to foul.
Yeah, we need to get shots off plays, not just stand and shoot. All right, so you've got to run highs or stack passes so we can get people off the screener. Then we've got people inside, all right, so we can rebound.
So that's good coaching by Mike McHugh right there. He said exactly what I was saying a minute ago. We don't need to stand around and shoot jump shots. He wants those jump shots coming off good run plays. And that's exactly right. Great coaching. Great coaching.
Well, you're right. The other thing they're doing is targeting Mike Hommick. Hommick, they know, over 4 seasons is about a 58% free throw shooter. And if anybody's going to be taking those free throws for the Stars, they want it to be the Beast.
And there we go. The beastie Mike Hommick. That's who the Saints are going to target. And see what happens here.
Okay, Jeff, here we go. The ball is inbounded by the Stars. Boucher gets it over halfway, gets it ahead to Hommick. Now, that's the man they said they want to foul, Casey Frank. The foul comes outside. It's going to be against, I think, number 33.
-2, guys.
Ben Knight. We got a final score here for you. Taranaki has beaten the Otago Nuggets. In the end, it was a 112-103 ball game.
No defense, obviously, and a wooden spoon.
Yeah, you got to feel sorry for the Otago Nuggets. They're playing with a young team, an inexperienced team, and quite often they're in the game at halftime, and they seem to fade in the second half.
Got some good youngsters down there, as we saw in our TV game when we were down there, Bob. So, yeah, keep at it with the program down there in Otago.
Hommick makes the first. He makes them both, and that's a 75-68 spread. 1 minute to play. Leafa lets the ball go over halfway. Now the clock starts. Ben Knight kicks it out. Lewis, they're looking for a three-point shot. Troy McLean down the lane, left-handed shot, and it's batted away by Johnson. Ben Knight has the ball blocked by Dylan Boucher, who knocks it out of bounds. Just great hustle from Dylan Boucher. You always can count on that man for activity.
Everywhere you see a basketball, Dylan Boucher's trying to pinch it off you. Every time a winner. That's why he's one of the premier basketball players in this country. And I've got to say it, I don't know why the Breakers haven't taken that man right there.
Yeah, it makes you wonder. He gives 110% at every game. He gets his hand. If you counted the number of times a player got his hand to the ball, Boucher would probably lead that statistic game after game after game. He is always hunting the ball.
Ball touches, touches on the ball. Dylan Boucher would double the league in leads in terms of getting his hands to the basketball.
Okay, here we go. Lewis inbounds the ball. There's 50 seconds to play. Liapa down the lane, puts it on the glass. He makes the left-hand layup. So it's a 5-point spread, 45 seconds. Now, I think the Saints have to foul here. Boucher would be a good man to put a foul on. Steal. Troy McLean brings it over halfway. 5-point lead. Knight stops, fires it. He's got it. 2-point lead, Jeff. 75, 73, 32 seconds to play.
And Glenn Joe has to get rid of the basketball. He turned it over that last time.
Boucher, long heave down floor.
Oh, and a foul by
Johnson fouls Terrence Lewis over the back.
The good thing about that, Bob, was that it was only their 4th team foul, so they're not shooting the bonus. So that was the Stars had a foul to give. And here we go. Dylan Boucher's now in trouble. He tries the long pass. That was easy for Terrence Lewis to pick up. Kareem Johnson came over the back of Terrence Lewis. But the good thing there was only the 4th team foul, so the Saints aren't shooting the free throws to try and get in the tie.
No, but they do have possession. 75-73. Let's listen to Kenny Stone.
Nothing's changed. Don't leave your feet. Don't leave your feet on shot attempt. Contest. Stay down. Get up. Go under. Stay down. Get on the boards. All 5 guys. No three. We need help. We need help side if we get some penetration, but we need all rotation. Let's go.
Well, Jim, the strain showing in Kenny Stone's voice there. You can see the message, though, is pretty simple.
Yeah, well, it's a pretty simple situation which you practice week in, week out, hour after hour. You know, you're holding a 2-point ball game lead here. The Saints are in possession. All you have to do is play good defense. Don't let them shoot the 3. If they penetrate and score an easy layup, well, that's fine because the game will go into overtime. But you don't want to give up a game-winning 3. And here's another stat. The Saints are great at the last second 3-pointer.
Okay, Primo NBL fans, fasten your seatbelts. Time ticking away. 20 seconds. 75-73, the lead to the Stars. Possession with the Saints. Incanazio against Homick. Into the corner. McLean. Ball spinning around. The outside. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Liapa has to drive. Gives it up to McLean. He's got to put it up. Off the glass. Doesn't drop. Casey Frank gets a rebound, and that ices the game for the Stars. The Saints just could not get a good look at the basket. That's great defense from the Stars to save the game.
I don't know if they didn't get a good look at the basket. I think that, you're right, the Stars did play very good defense, but the Saints were very patient. I thought they did get a good look at the basketball. We've got to disagree.